Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tales on Tap. I just pushed the wrong button and started the intro video for absolutely no reason whatsoever. We hope that you're doing really well today. If you are into the whole, no idea what's going to happen next, then stick around, because we don't. We hope that you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, before we get into tonight's session, we do have to get through a few announcements, but before we do, let's say hello to everybody. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
How are we all?
What's this?
Why not?
Power stands.
So, say hello to everyone. So let's go around the table and you can say hi to the good folk at home. Let's start with you, Dan.
Hello, good folk at home.
Excellent. Evan.
Hello, Dan.
Hi, Evan.
Just Dan.
Chris.
Wow.
Hi, Natalie.
Natalie.
Hey, Han.
Han.
Hi, Evan.
You guys are the...
Everyone, you guys are home as well. Hello.
Yes.
Hello, guys.
Guys, seriously, why do we fucking... Like, this bit every week we just mess up entirely. Like, every
That's
single
our
week.
job. That's
I know.
our job is to mess all this up. Your job
Can
is
we
to
just
keep on
admit
track.
we guys are chaos, and that's what you guys in the chat are here.
If it's not,
See?
Yeah.
Case
Perfect.
point.
Yeah. Never let them know the next move. So, I'd like everyone to roll initiative.
oh
So-
my God, he's still stuck.
I know.
That's
Wait,
so good.
hang on,
That could
put
not
screen.
have been. That could not have been more perfectly timed. But
So, as I said, before we get into tonight's session, let's go around the table and get through some announcements. Natalie, do you want to kick us off tonight?
Sure. I would love to tell you about our long-time sponsors. That is Valkyrie RPG. It's Valkyrie-RPG. They are beautiful people that make beautiful dice and beautiful terrain for all things D&D and tabletop RPGs. Their Valentine's Day thing is now over. So if you've got those, good on you. If you use our Tails 10 at checkout, you get an extra 10% off your order.
Excellent. Thank
All the
you.
details are in the dungeon.
Thank you. Legend. Okay, cool. Dan, you can go next.
I can go next.
Yep.
I'm going to start in a second. I've ruined myself. Here at Tales on Tap, if you like the combat we do and watching us fumble our way through beautiful maps and the tokens that come along with it, then you should find yourself over to Tom Kartos Maps. In his monthly roundup in January 2024, he has released 224 maps, titles, and variants, 7 illustrations, 274 assets, 5 new tokens, 2 adventure modules, 7 complete Foundry VTT modules, and 1 custom ancestry.
God
He is
damn.
really pumping out the content. He has been good to us. He's a handsome man who makes handsome things, because we like to use those kind of words here. So if you want to spice up your own D&D adventures, go to his website, Tom Kartos, and buy things. He'll appreciate it, and so will we.
Love that. Thank you very much, Dan.
I see why you did the little loading screen at the beginning there, because that was amazing.
Oh, really good.
It was so good. Amazing. Thank you very much, Dan. Chris, do you want to tell everyone what's around the corner for Tales on Tap?
Yeah, sure. We have a couple of things around the corner, actually. We have coming up very shortly, in fact, beginning next week, and lasting for 2 weeks. So the last couple of weeks of February, Dan is going to be pottering off for a couple of weeks. So you're going to be left with us.
Yeah.
While the cat's away, the rats shall play. So play we shall. And in order to do this,
Games.
in order to do that, we are going to, our lovely player Natalie is going to be running a 2-week two-shot, I guess you would call it, called Dravani, Festival of Reflection, where you'll be able to find out a little bit more information about that soon on our social medias, but you'll be able to find out a lot more about it if you tune in next week and watch it. It's going to be same time, same day as always, but it's going to be a different DM, different adventure, different characters. Look forward to that. A little bit further afield, coming on to the 12th of March, you may have caught the first half of Aerilon, A Damned Voyage, which was a collaboration one-shot that we did with various other creators in the tabletop community online. We had Jordan from Modified Roll-In, John from Trolls of the Two-Ton Bridge podcast, Chloe from the Deck of Many Aces podcast, Miko from Folk and Myth, who I believe is in chat right now. Hello, Miko. Ruth Alana, a member of our very own Tales on Tap community.
Who's also in chat. Hello.
Is so cool and played so well. Can't wait for them to come back. And obviously Dan from our own Tales on Tap cast will also be involved in that. And obviously Dan will be returning again as the DM for that game. It's a really fun one. If you haven't caught it yet, the first part is on YouTube already. Go catch that when you have time. Not yet though, because we've got some D&D to play tonight. And there's also many other things coming up in the future that I'll have more information about when I know it.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Han?
Yeah, so 12th of March is a very exciting time. So not only is the second part of the collab one-shot, but all of the queer heroes, I've mentioned them once or twice before, and I've also mentioned A Tale of Two Queens, a pirate level 16 to 20 adventure. And I've been talking about this Kickstarter upcoming. The launch date has been released, and it is the 12th of March as well.
Oh.
So on the 12th of March, you can tune in and watch this collab one-shot, and also back that fucking awesome sounding Kickstarter. Pirates, sapphic, gay in general, like
Gayness.
gayness, accessible for neurodivergent people. It's got everything. Level 16 to 20, compatible with D&D 5e and Pathfinder 2e. So be sure 12th of March to head out and look at that on Kickstarter page. All their links are down in the dungeon. All of the queer heroes are two incredible, beautiful, as we seem to be complimenting everybody's like soul at the moment.
It's true.
Beautiful human beings who have established and created modules, maps, spell books, a whole suite of things to enhance your D&D experience. So we highly recommend you go check them out, and all of their links down in the dungeon below. 12th of March.
12th of
Don't forget
March. Do it.
Get it in your diaries.
Yeah, and talking about beautiful people, I'll go next and then we'll leave Evan till last. So we'll... no, I'm kidding. Evan, why don't you tell everybody what's happening in the world of socials?
Well, we've already covered a little bit with what's going on. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of news coming out. In this week, it's going to be a lot of news about the two-shot. Then following that, it's going to be a lot of news about Tales on Tap coming back and then going away again for part 2 of our one-shot that we did. And I mean, we're also going to throw in Awfully Queer Heroes. As soon as they go live, we're going to make sure to hype them up and help spread the word. And I think you should do too. If you go on to our social medias, whether that's Facebook, Twitter, or X as they call it, we don't want to get a lawsuit, you never know. Instagram, there's Threads even, which apparently I found out that we are on Threads without even signing up to Threads.
Yep.
I don't know how that happened. Someone's screwing with me.
Expire Instagram.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're on all of these social media. So if you go on there, you're going to see all of those news, and please help spread the word, because we love this community and we love having more people in there. So talk about us, reference us, tag us, do all of those sorts of things.
MLA citation.
Yes.
Or
yes.
Harvard, if that's your choice.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Please be sure to use Times New Roman though, because we don't want any other thing, because that's just awful. Get over yourselves. Go on. But yeah, that's it. That's it, basically, guys. So go on to social media and follow us there and spread the word.
Excellent. Thank you.
I thought you were going to finish that with just get over yourselves. Thanks, Evan, and next week.
So, thank you very much, all of you, for your wonderful announcements. So, just to tie things off before we jump in, if you do ever miss an episode here on Tales on Tap Live, then we upload all our VODs to YouTube on a Sunday, typically around 6 p.m. If you haven't checked out our YouTube channel already, then you can find our entire back catalogue of everything we've pretty much done since we kicked off around 18 months ago with streaming and recording our sessions. You can find all of our past content on there, including one-shots, our campaign 1's on there, both of our Christmas one-shots and everything. So make sure you go over there. If you haven't done already, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit
Pretty sure the first Christmas one is not on there.
We don't talk about Christmas.
We don't talk about that
We
one.
don't talk about those clips. That's
Which
as
is
good
why
as it gets.
it's essential to tune in with live, because you may be able to get in touch with stuff that's should not be uploaded to YouTube.
Yeah, fine, yeah, that's fine. But if you haven't already, hit subscribe on the YouTube bit. It really helps with us obviously finding new people who share the same like-minded interests as us. If you ever see one of our videos or shorts pop up on YouTube, just drop a like rating on it. Share it with your friends and family. Every little bit that you can do helps us out massively. And also, if you do, like I say, if you ever miss an episode or if you're ever busy one night and you can't catch us live, but you're busy and you've got loads to do and you know, traveling or whatever, just listen to the podcast. We're uploading two sessions a week, so it's the same session broke down into two easy to digest parts. So one releases okay, I'm going to preface this. One should release on a Thursday. The last 2 weeks it's released like 8 a.m. on a Friday morning when I've like woke up and gone shit and uploaded it. But on a Sunday you catch the second half of our weekly episodes. So if you do want to listen to us on the go, then by all means head over to wherever you want to find podcasts. And you'll be able to like, subscribe, and follow us on there. And again, if you do listen to us in podcast form, make sure you drop us a 5-star rating. Again, the more ratings that we get at 5 or 4+ stars, again, it just helps the algorithm push our content in front of more people that like this kind of stuff. So anything you guys can do to help us get in front of more people, the better. So as Chris was saying, we've got lots planned in the next few months. Story time. The next 6 months are going to be the most important 6 months of my entire life. So in the next 6 months, I am going on my honeymoon in next week. So from Tuesday next week, I'm away for 2 weeks, as Chris says. The reason I'm going on my honeymoon now, when I get married in April, is because I'm going to be expecting our firstborn in around June or July. And as I'm sure those of you at home that already currently have children know, that during that first 6 month period of a baby's life, it's very important that the parents are around, and I need plenty of time away from my computer to teach it how to play D&D. So there is something that we're planning during that period. We aren't going to release too many details right now, but we are planning something really special and really, really fun with one of our players. We're not going to tell you who, but one of our players here is stepping into the DM space for a period of time that is not going to be 1 or 2 weeks. It's going to definitely be maybe 3 or 4 months. But we have something really fun and really special planned that ties into this campaign and all the other one-shots that we've played within this world. So it's going to be really fun. And the concept that we're working on behind closed doors is really, really special, and really, it's going to be really fun. So keep a weathered eye on the horizon for all things to do with that. But as we get closer to that time, we'll obviously announce more about that. We're obviously working on other things in the background as well. There's plenty of stuff that we're busy with. We are slowly tinkering away with things like merchandise as well. Like merch is coming this year at some point. Once we find a decent supplier and distributor, we're going to be getting all those designs, uploaded so that you can get your own Tales on Tap merchandise. Other than that, guys, thank you very much for everything that you guys do at home. It means the world to us for you sticking in. If you do want to show your love and support, you can hit that funky purple button down below like nerdy Natalie's nonsense has just done, and you can subscribe to the channel. Any subscription that comes to us means the world to us. It helps us obviously put money into advertising and things like that, and obviously helps us get in front of more people that like this sort of stuff. However, you don't have to do that if you don't want. That's completely up to you. Like, just come in and watch us and join in with us every week. Just your support by watching is all we're really doing this for. But if you want to subscribe and you've not got a lot of money but you already pay for Amazon Prime, then you can do it for free. Just link your Twitch account and you get a free subscription every month. You don't have to spend that here. You can spend it wherever you want, but if you do want to spend it here, it'll be very much appreciated. I think that about wraps up all the announcements. So before we get into tonight's session, I'd like everybody to roll me a d20, please, because we are back around. So, everyone roll me a d20, please. Okay, Han, what did you get?
I got 5.
Did anybody get lower than a 5? I think this is you got lower than a 5. What did you get, Evan?
I'm not a halfling when I'm rolling this. This is a natural 1, baby.
Finally, one sticks.
Okay. Okay.
We got him.
So, Evan, if you wouldn't mind, if you can take some notes this evening, you'll be doing the recap when we come back in about 2 or 3 weeks' time. That'd be great.
Yes,
Excellent.
sir.
So, that about wraps up all the announcements. If you haven't done already, make sure you go and get yourselves a drink, get yourselves relaxed, comfortable, settle in as we dive into another episode of... What's the show called?
Tales on Tap!
Feels like we're getting closer to the heart of this thing. But every time we get closer to them, they seem to get closer to us. The job for Alara to seize back some stolen goods ended up being a lot more than we bargained for. After being ambushed by SBC agents outside the building, we made our way in to find Alden cowering in a storeroom. Liana and I worked on him while the others searched the place and kept an eye out for trouble. He broke easy enough. Didn't even have to draw blood before he told us where to find what we came here for. I thought to myself, we should be thankful this city doesn't host a higher caliber of criminal, although that pile of SBC agents outside might not have been so soft. Didn't stop him throwing out all kinds of threats, though. Nothing I haven't heard from scumbags like him before. With that though, I thought we were done. Then Virgil made a discovery. In a sealed room, accessible only by magic, he found a crate of flux vials and face masks. Fresh batch by the looks of it, still to be filled. Whoever this Skull and Viper group is, we had just stumbled across a link in their supply chain. Kyria started weaving words in Alden's ear at the point of a dagger. And while they sowed some pretty convincing doubt in his mind about our true identities, the arsehole finally decided to tighten his lips. Seems like he gave up the goods and gold just to get us out of here before we could dig around. We speculated the SBC might be here for him rather than us. Preparing to raid the place, or, if you ask me, guarding it. Alden claimed ignorance, but I could tell he was full of shit. Still, doesn't rule out the possibility they knew we were coming. Pym did his floaty paper trick and retrieved a scroll from the SBC squad leader's coat, which we later learned was unsigned orders to hunt us down. Whoever these agents were, they're taking money or doing favours off the books for at least one slippery noble, and maybe the flux producers as well. If that is the case, my money is on those two benefactors being one and the same. Speaking of SBC, before long, whistles rang out all around us, and we had to bring about an end to our conversation. By that point, all we'd managed to glean from Alden was an assurance that we wouldn't be pursued by his powerful friends or reported to the SBC if we left him with his life. An assurance I wouldn't bank on, but he could be more useful to us alive, despite his insistence we finish him off and save ourselves some trouble. We knocked him out, shoved him in a barrel and stashed one of the bags of goods he handed over for him to find later. Hopefully that'll convince him to take the second chance he's been given, though I have a feeling soon enough I'll be watching him beg for a third. We made a break for it. Everyone hauled Alara's crates onto a nearby wagon, while Pym made another interesting attempt at wild shaping. I admire the kid's determination. He tried to transform into a horse, but only made it about a third of the way there. At least his two new hand hooves would come in handy, as the gang loaded themselves up, ready to ride out before the SBC closed in. With Liana's strength, some magical assistance from Virgil, some impressive illusions from Kyria, and the equestrian soundscapes of Pimothy, they had a good chance of making it out without suspicion. To give them a better chance, I opted to lead the approaching agents away. The old bell bait trick works just as great here as it did back home, though this lot uses whistles. and I'm getting sick of the sound they make quicker than I did those bells. On my way back to the rendezvous point, our friend the Raven showed up again. Maybe I'm just getting into the habit of letting my guard down in a desperate situation, or I don't know. Maybe she's finally whispering back in my mind's ear. But I feel compelled to trust this guy. We agreed to coordinate our efforts. I gave him information on what we found at Aldin's, and the Raven agreed to run surveillance on him for the next few days. There's a good chance he'll try and make contact with his clients, and we need to know who that is. Arriving back at the Hidden Star, the rest were waiting to greet me with weapons raised. It's encouraging to see them on their toes while on the way. Virgil had already briefed Alara on the completion of our task, and I think Leanna's starting to come around to the idea that she might not be being straight with us. Of course, she acted surprised at the mention of an SBC ambush and the presence of flux paraphernalia at the scene. I almost had to remind her that if she's not responsible, that's just as much a problem for her as it is for us. Let's hope for her sake she can find the leak, if there is one. For now, we're sticking with the plan until we have something more to go on. Alara has agreed to rent us a place to lay low in the western middle city. False names on the lease, of course. Quiet neighbours. Quite an upgrade from my scratch in the SBC. While Alara prepared the paperwork, we divided the remaining bag of Aldin's money and discussed our plans for the next few days. The Raven's report on Aldin would take a bit of time, so it could be an opportunity to let the heat die down on us and attend to some personal matters. Pim and Liana are keen to locate their confiscated possessions. I have a few more materials I need to acquire, but we still have some leads to chase down too. Pretty sure that's everything. Paperwork signed, gold split, rent paid, and a few extra supplies purchased. We headed to our new abode. I was expecting an upgrade, but I don't think I've ever lived in a place this big. So many doors. Too many windows. Sounds like the neighbours have dogs as well. I thought they were supposed to be quiet. Wait a minute. Oh, shit.
Hell yeah!
Nice.
Yeah, I stole your joke, Dan. I
So
stole your dog joke.
good. So good. So, will the team have enough time to discuss the interior decorating that has been previously done in this property? Will somebody just get control of those fucking dogs next door? And are they living next to the house that Kyria went through and may or may not have killed somebody? Find out now! Well, we pick up.
Find out now!
Guys,
Yeah.
here we go. Liana,
Yeah.
you stand in the courtyard of your new property, taking in the surroundings. What a beautiful herb garden. Somebody at some point has spent a good amount of time sorting this place out. Like a hidden little gem away from everything. It's amazing. In really a kind of stark contrast to the rest of the city. It's beautiful. A few ferns in the but as you look up and you see the fresh new full moon rise above the cityscape of Wyndmere, with distant airships crossing its face, you hear in your head this acute, high-pitched, squealing sound. And it's intense, it's loud, it is almost piercing your mind. You drop to your knees, gripping your head. Your claws digging into the side of your face as you collapse onto your knees and onto all fours. The pain, excruciating pain, as you feel your blood begin to boil.
Yeah.
A moment passes.
Hmm?
As the pain starts to subside, the ringing in your ears leaving you completely discombobulated from your entire surroundings. I love that word, by the way.
love that word
It's
so much.
so good.
Good word.
Like, it encapsulates everything that's wrong with this moment. But you feel this penetrating, searing burn underneath your skin as you feel your blood boiling as you dig your claws into the gravel beneath your feet and your paws. You try to take in your surroundings. You look left and look right. In the meantime, Virgil, Kyria, Edivir, you guys in various different sections of the property, taking in this new house, taking in the surroundings, seeing what's what. Out of nowhere, you hear coming from the back of the property. You all race to the back door, and as you get there, you all three see Liana on hands and knees, head in hands, claws digging into the side of Liana's temple. Him, nowhere to be seen.
Oh,
She's eating him.
You just see one of Pim's donkey ears just slowly...
Just a little root goes.
Yeah. But you see Liana on the floor in visible agony. Liana, this experience has left you battered, beaten, and you have 2 points of exhaustion.
Oh, shit.
As you feel this more animalistic, inherent nature of you start boiling to the surface. You've never felt anything like this before. You're currently clutching at your head as the bells ring, leaving your head this kaleidoscopic soundscape of just ear-piercing, high-pitched noises.
To us, standing in the back at the back doorway, does Liana appear changed in any way? Apart
No.
from, so no
Do I
physical
notice that they've come
deformation
out?
or anything.
No physical changes at all. And Liana, I would say not. I would say that this
Okay.
is all-encompassing and consuming in this moment.
I would say that I am growling, and I'm making guttural noises rather than actual shouting. And while clutching my head, you can see that she is like trying to shake it out of herself as well.
I think Kyria, seeing Liana like hunched over in pain, is going to sprint out back and like kneel beside her, and is gonna kind of cradle her hands with theirs, and is just gonna try and catch your eye contact and make you aware that I'm here. Before I'm gonna try and like cast message into your head, and I basically want to try and just the calmest like little melody in my head goes into yours, just to try and have you have something else to focus on.
Okay.
Seeing that you're like clearly in pain, I just want to give you something to focus on.
With the new addition of more noise in her head, and now realizing that someone's there, she is literally just going to push back off the earth and like scramble back, because she is terrified. You can see it in her face and in her eyes. She is terrified and she doesn't know what to do, and she doesn't want to hurt anybody. So she is literally trying to put as much distance, until she probably hits a wall or a bush or something, as possible between her and anybody else.
You all see Liana just kind of like scrambling and pushing herself back until Liana's back hits the side wall. Liana's eyes like wide open, and this sheer look of fear washed over their face.
As there's that sort of very abrupt movement from Liana, just sort of like a moment afterwards, Kyria, you feel just a tug on your shoulder as Edovich pulls you back, and you see he puts his hand on his scimitar, but it doesn't move forward towards Liana, just pulls you back sort of next to him for a minute. Can I look around now that we've both moved forward a bit into the garden to see if I can see Pim anywhere?
Yeah, of course. Pim.
Pim.
Beam a thing. Sure, watch out next week for the one shots. That is where. Make me a perception check, please.
That's a. What's my perception? I think it's +3. Yes, it is 13.
13. You do not see Pim anywhere in the garden, but what you do see, Ed, is you see ripped and torn bits of fabric on the ground, and with a 13 you see on the very back wall 2 very large indent scratches on the wall. But Pim
heading up the wall.
Yep.
Is this just like a back garden wall, or is this a wall of another building?
No, like a back garden wall. It's a small courtyard with a back garden wall, and it looks like there's 2 huge scratches down one of the walls. Looks very fresh, but no Pim in sight, and just torn and ripped bits of fabric on the ground. Okay,
Kiri, you just feel a squeeze on your shoulder, and as you sort of turn to look at Edovir, his eyes are just locked on the clothes on the floor. Pim.
Okay,
However bad Liana's faring, I think Pim might be faring a bit worse.
No, yes, I agree. Pim? And I'm, like, pointing towards, like, the clothes and the scratches. I'm just going, Pim? Are you okay? Pim, please? And I'm approaching the clothes, and I'm just going to see if there's anything, like, around, like, closer.
Investigation check, please. Something you do not get a response.
Okay.
Like, you point in about 3 or 4 different directions, Pim, as you are, like, blast message out, like, bang, bang, bang. Like, nothing. No response whatsoever.
Investigation.
With that investigation check, you know that looking at the bits of fabric, there's, like, bits of ripped greens and whites, and the green fabric is very much like the jacket that Pim was wearing.
Yeah.
And there's like little bits of brown cotton fabric and little bits of like, and as you see, you kind of like look down, and right next to one of the kind of like plant borders that's a little bit raised, you see next to it is one of Pim's boots on its side, like frayed open.
Okay.
While these messages are being shot out, sorry, unless Virgil wanted to do something.
Oh, you go first, and I'll jump in.
Okay. While these messages are just being fired out, Edovir is going to sort of, still with his left hand, kind of turning his body a bit, so the hand on his scimitar isn't immediately visible as he's approaching, and with one hand stretched out towards Liana, it's going to start slowly, sort of as almost like
Chris Pratt, Jurassic Park.
Yeah, almost like Chris. Yeah, exactly, almost like that, sort of walking towards Liana, and he's just going to be saying, Liana, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And I'm going to keep approaching.
It's loud. It's painful, and it's loud, and I can't make it stop.
She's still with us, but there's something wrong. How is, now that she's backed off into a wall, is the moon still shining on her?
Yeah.
The moon is still shining on her. I suppose I should ask, how much do I don't know about lycanthropy?
I would say that you've heard of it. The intricacies of it are probably a little bit of a stretch for you to know, but you would know, like, okay, full moon. We've just fought a bunch of people that transformed into you could probably start piecing little bits like that together, but the actual intricacies of how this curse works and things are probably a stretch for you to know.
Okay, so just
I would say the expert in this within the group has probably just fucked off.
As long as Moonlight bad is rudimentary knowledge enough that
but
cool. I don't want to metagame.
No. You know that Full Moon bad, Leanna pain doesn't seem to be like, but it seems to be like you can figure the rest out at that point. But
so as Edivir is sort of reaching out to place a hand on sort of Leanna's shoulder or something like that, he sort of sees the moonlight on the back of his hand as he casts a sort of moonlight shadow over her fur. He turns around, looks at the moon, sees it's full. We need to get her inside. We need to get her inside. Come on, help me. I can't move her alone. Are you all right to stand?
Am I all right to stand? I am.
You are exhausted, but with the help and aid of other people, yeah. It's not like you're completely paralyzed.
You're not like incapacitated. Or
no. You just you can't. But you have 2 points of exhaustion, so you're very much just like, yeah.
Yeah, so I am very twitchy, and it's like trying to wrangle a drunk person who is trying to walk the opposite direction. So and she's not really making much sense. She's just kind of saying the odd word here or there, but she allows you to move her.
And cool. I suppose by hearing that, it's slightly incoherent what Leanna's saying. Like, she'll start a sentence and then finish another that she's had in her head, and it's very mumble jumble. It's very difficult to get any sort of like straight sentences out of her. Virgil, is there anything you would like to do in this moment?
Okay, so looking at the sort of as Kiri ran out to try and cut Leanna's head, they would have felt sort of nails. I know I hit my spring, sorry.
They would have felt
that was terrifying.
I cast Toll the Dead.
They would have felt the 5 o'clock news.
Felicity Clearwater enters the...
yeah.
Oh shit, celebrities. Do you live here? No, as Kyria ran out, they would have felt sort of claw, like nails kind of grasp at the back of a shirt before it sort of, they'd run out of sight. And then Edivir straight afterwards. Virgil very much stood in the doorway as this was going on, just because he is physically aware of how much stronger Leanna is than all of us currently, and with an out-of-control Leonin in the courtyard, we could have issues. Friend or not, this is dangerous. Just for my own personal sort of, I know it's not an arcane thing, but would lycanthropy in itself, or something akin to that, seeing as we know that it's what the werewats were about, has anything... If I made a general intelligence or history check, could I recall anything specific about it, even as just like a brush over, as these are sort of things these are curses, these are sort of not inherently arcane things, but have, links to...
Similar wheelhouse.
Yeah. Make me a history check, please. I wanna see if you remember reading something of this within your time within Goa. For those of you at home that want to know why we keep referencing Wa, this is the Wyndmere Academy of the Arcane, which is shortened to Wa.
Wah!
Wow.
Wah!
Yeah.
What is the group for blowing up the library?
Yeah, used to be. It's fine. It's just a bit of fire damage.
That's gonna get clipped. That's so gonna get clipped.
That's an 18.
An 18. You will have read, you will probably have come across a couple of tomes regarding curses. You will have probably thumbed through them to try and ascertain if there is any sort of arcane curses that you would like to prep yourself and read yourself up. You'll have probably thumbed through a section on lycanthropy. Probably wouldn't have taken a whole lot of it in, but gone, okay, lycanthropy is a curse that's usually transferred by a bite or the mixture of blood, it's an ancient curse. It's not something that's just like reared its head in the last few years. It's something that goes back to time immemorial.
Yeah.
But you do know that it is a curse, but the finite details of it you probably wouldn't have sunk in. But similar to Edivir, you would go, oh, okay, full moon, transformation, it's a curse, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sort of looking to Edivir as I assume he's trying to hoist Leanna up from the ground at this point. Virgil is very much 15 feet back at this point, sort of making sure to make a check of where Kiri has gone, just a wandering. Looking towards Leanna, Virgil's in quite a sort of a loud voice to try and, because I assume I've heard at least her say from the back wall that there is noise and it hurts. Leanna, do you think you can... Sorry, I have to shout, but I don't want to get too close to you, I'm afraid. Do you think you can push through this? Are we safe to be around you right now? If this is what we think it is, this is going to be a bigger problem than just now.
You just see her look directly at you, wide-eyed, and she just shakes her head. She doesn't know. She is completely lost in this as much as you guys are, so she has no idea whether she can shake it or not.
Edivir kind of works his way from under the armpit fur and just, come on, can someone help me with this, please? And I'll just begin leading Leanna out of the moonlight to see if that improves anything.
Okay. You hoist Leanna's huge arm over yours as you kind of like help Leanna up to their feet and walk them back into the house and sit them at the table that's quite near the back door on one of the chairs. As Leanna, you kind of like just slump into this chair.
And Edivir just sitting next to you, just sort of like looking into your eyes, just going, come on.
After...
Do I feel any better?
You feel that like the noise in your head starts to subside a little bit. You feel battered, but you do feel like the overwhelming sense that you've had over the last few minutes is starting to subside a little bit, but this has taken a lot out of you.
And yeah, just like you said, I'm slumped back. I've stopped rambling, and I've stopped shaking, and I've kind of just flopped back, and I'm like, my head is in my hands.
And as you begin to come out of it and the sound but does begin to dull, you hear that Edivir has gone from sort of just being like, come on. And he's muttering again as the whistling sort of starts to subside, you can hear him sort of just saying, I know, I ask for a lot, but this one can help us. This one's good for the cause. They've been through it just like we have.
Okay.
Are we...
Edivir.
Mm-hmm.
Just so I can see how effective this is, I'd like to make me a religion check. Now, I know that you're typically not a devout individual in the general sense of the word, but...
I'm a devout, I'm just not divine.
Yeah. So let's just see how effective this particular is.
Religion, yeah. Ooh. That is a 16.
16. Leanna, this gives you a sense of calm in this moment. You don't know who... I mean, Edivir is looking directly at you, but you know that he's not addressing
his eyes
you.
Are closed, yeah.
But he's very much like facing you, going, come on, closes his eyes and begins to continue to talk out aloud. You know immediately that though he's...
Not to me, yeah.
It's not to you, but it brings this sense of calm over you as this kind of white fuzz noise within your head starts to subside more and more. Kyria,
Yes.
you're currently still out in the courtyard. What is it you're doing?
Yeah. So basically, what I would have done as soon as I started noticing like the bits and like the boot in the brambles and stuff like that, I am thinking like, okay, Pim. What would Pim do? When I was out of control and I didn't know what to do, I focused on things that brought me peace and calm. That's always going to be a base instinct. And I'm looking in the brambles. I am searching in nature to try and find if he's cowering in fear, hiding away. If it's obvious that he's climbed up, like the scratch marks are leading up, I will go up. I'm going to try and scour the wall to see if I can get sight on anything.
Okay. You have a... Go on.
Sorry, just a question. Just out of curiosity, is Kyria saying this out loud?
I am. I don't know how big the courtyard is, but I am kind of muttering it.
Okay.
I don't know if you catch it, but...
Probably not catching it, but noticing that you are very much now digging through bushes, looking around, sort of doing that Kyria thing where they're trying to place things together as much as possible. Sort of having stood 5 feet away from the doorway, looking in on Edivir, trying to calm Liana down. We're just going to turn around to just, again, put a check on you. And just... Kyria, darling, what are you doing, sweet?
Try to find Pim. Yeah, Pim. It tracks. I'm rolling with it.
Who are you looking for?
Okay. So...
I've been gone for 20 minutes and you've already forgotten me, you bastards!
It's not been 20 minutes.
Yeah. Who's Pim?
It's been like 2 minutes.
Does it? Whatever it's like.
Doesn't make it better.
Kyria, your immediate look around in the small bushels and things that are within this small courtyard at the back of this property does not bring Pim to sight at all.
Okay.
Like, you immediately start dragging bushes to one side, looking in the... I mean, it's only a small courtyard, this. It's not like there's dense thickets of shit you've got to, scramble through. It takes you moments to go, okay, not behind either of the 4 bigger plants that are in here. And your eyes just go whack to the wall. Make me an acrobatics check, please.
I'm going to look at myself and I'm going to be like, okay, spirits, come on, give me a hand. And I'm going to guide myself.
Nice.
Cool.
A what check?
Acrobatics, please.
14.
14. You...
Oh, God.
Like that scene out of Hot Fuzz, the first attempt, you just run and just hit the wall and bounce back up. And then you take an even bigger run up and the clop of the hoofs go, and you just launch yourself and just hang on the edge of the wall and go, and just drag yourself up with all your might and just kind of till the waist and then just kind of go woof, and then you're like, ah. But you look either side at the small alleyway behind this property and you look and you kind of perch yourself up. No sign of Pim or anybody in either direction.
Very much a worried parent watching their child climb a wall dangerously, hoping the first attempt wouldn't have succeeded, and then watching them leap themselves to a thing and then scramble. You just... Roger's behind Kyria very much at the sort of base of the wall. It's well, they made it up. It's fine. I'm sure they're safe. Kyria, darling, what do you see?
I can't see him. I can't see anyone.
Right. Don't go anywhere. We can't lose any more of us in this. Can you get down? We need to think about this. We can't just start running off in search of were-beings.
Yes, I can get down. And can you catch me?
I can try. And it was just...
Trust fall. Okay.
What's that?
Pim.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
You stand in the courtyard. And this is a wonderful little courtyard. There's a little herb garden. Just think of all the fucking stuff you could do out here, man. This is
for activities.
This is your space. You've immediately come out and you're like, oh yeah, this'll do. This'll do perfectly. Like, I could just, like, there's so much I could grow here, and, like, there's certain plants that you spot, you're like, oh, I've never come across this, and suddenly, this high-pitched in your head as you go, and you have your hands over your face like so, and you see the coloration in your pigment of your skin start shifting and changing, and you feel your bones as you collapse to the ground, and you feel your back start to and pop and crack as the skin feels hot to the touch and burns all over, and you have but one thought in your mind. Run, Pim. Run now. Run! As your whole body shifts and cracks as your form changes, as red ascends, the taste of iron and blood fills your mouth, and in your new form, your head as you turn to see Liana on the ground, clutching at her head, her claws. Your paw takes one step in the direction of Liana and begins to just shake on the ground as you break and claw at the wall. Then nothing. A flash of buildings. Nothing. You see candle lights within a street. You hear from a nearby passerby as your form emerges onto a road, and then nothing. All this time, the taste, the hunger in your heart as it keeps moving and shifting and driving your very essence. And then nothing. An absence of thought. A complete absence of control. Free will lost. So, Kyria, as you drop down from the wall into the arms of Virgil.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Right, we need to find him.
Yes, I know we do. I'm fully aware, darling, but this isn't just a lost boy in a city anymore. This is something worse. This is something much worse, and I don't think we can stop him if he is what I believe he is. Look, come, let's get back inside. Let's talk to Edivir. We need to think, because this is...
He's Pim.
Yes, he is, but he may not just be Pim anymore. If what happened in the sewers is taking hold, which, given the time scale, what's going on, and how soon it was, we are dealing with a were-being now. He is as much beast as he was our friend. So, come on, let's not... We need to think. Okay, we need to think. We need to just think about this really hard. And you can see there's a genuine sort of... Like, you can hear the flutter in his chest and sort of the commotion that's going on in his mind now. Like, this is... We're spent. We've done so much today, and so much has happened, and now this. And how am I supposed to fix this? How am I supposed to help anyone? And you sort of see, like, he very absentmindedly grasps for your hand as he tries to walk towards the back door of our kitchen.
Seeing this notable, like Virgil being so flustered and like out of control in terms of like not understanding what's going on, like, and this really taking kind of effect for the first time that Kyria's really witnessed, I just immediately, like, something within them just like kicks into gear. It's like, yes, okay, come on, and starts guiding you back to the house without like. It's just immediately, it's just like, yep, all right, let's go. And it's just like,
As you guys, sorry, go on.
no.
I thought you were finished.
Okay.
And as you guys get to the back door, Edivir is walking towards the garden and meets you at the back door, and you see he's stinging his scarf around his head and like putting on his dagger bandolier that he took off when we got there. And he just sees you guys walking back into the house, and he just goes, "We ready?"
He's not out back. I think.
I know, I can see that. We need to go find him.
No, isn't. I can't see him in the back streets. That's what I meant. What I think. So, Liana, did you see anything? I'm sorry. I know this is a lot, but did you see or hear anything?
I heard a lot. I didn't hear Pim or see anything.
But you were out there with him, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Right.
But you have no recollection of the past 5, 3, 2, however long this has been going on for. You have no recollection of anything that was in front of you, around you. A howl, a sign.
No, we were in the garden, I saw the moon, and then pain and noise, and I'm sorry, it was very distracting.
Don't be sorry, there's nothing to be sorry for.
Every second that we wait, Pim could be out there hurting someone.
Yes.
We owe it to him.
Yes, I know we do, but we don't know what we're facing. This is lycanthropy, Edivir. This is serious transformation stuff. This is beyond just wild shape or transmutation. This is a curse. I am
a curse that has taken hold one of our friends and allies. We have to go and help
that, but I am spent. I have nothing I can give to this.
I'm not.
Back. Kyria runs upstairs.
Nice. Kyria's like, woo.
No. Kyria's running upstairs, and a few seconds later, you see them fumbling downstairs with like a blanket, like a big old blanket in hand, like having seen that Liana being inside has helped, and it's just like, okay, got the rope, got blanket, catch him, bring him back. He's light.
Virgil, just because you can't cast any magic spells doesn't mean you're not useful. You've still got eyes, you've still got ears, you've still got feet. Now you're just like me.
It's not just about that. I know what we are trying to do, but you do realize that he won't be his size anymore. He probably won't be the same shape or strength. He is going to be a bestial creature.
He's going to be our friend. We have to help him.
Everything that is looking to do whatever it's trying to do right now. I appreciate the sentiment, but we need to think about this a little harder than just, let's go out there and hope we can subdue a were creature.
He hurt someone, he will never forgive himself.
Exactly.
Yes, well,
I understand your sense of self-preservation here, but there's more important things at hand. And he kind of walks past you and shoulder checks you a little bit. Because we're still standing in the door.
As you shoulder check him, he turns very quickly on the heel so much that you hear the gravel like, he's like, it's not just self-preservation of me, it is all of us. You do realize what I'm saying here, don't you? I understand the noble intentions you're trying to get to, but this is serious beyond what we have done right now.
The elevator stops in the.
See, Liana tries to actually get up from the chair and stumbles a bit and ends up sitting back down. I will only slow you down. But you have to go now and figure it out on the way. Just
Virgil, why don't you stay here with Liana? Me and Kiri will try and find Pim. I don't feel comfortable leaving one of us alone anyway.
Liana, do you think you can move? Are you okay?
I can move, it's just very slowly, and this needs speed. Just go without me. I'm
right.
Just in case it happens again when I go outside as well.
You're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
No, just. And as everyone's sort of saying things, you sort of see Virgil sort of clicking his nails together, and you sort of see the arcane sparks coming to him. It's like, right, fine, okay, let's. Where are the walls? Right, any of you, are you good at tracking, Edivir? Do you know how to hunt people down? Because this is what this is going to be. This is going to be a race against time. We're going to have to move fast, following whatever scratch marks he's left behind.
My usual methods of tracking people down are information gathering, not following footprints.
Right, so...
But
I have an idea. Okay, so what you did with the whistles to lure the SPC away. I'll
Right.
mirror the howl.
that could work.
Look at, like, intelligence check or history check on that. Knowing, do I know that lycanthropes, from what I've thumbed through, respond to the howl of their own kind?
I don't think you'd know.
That's
No.
genius, though. it's too genius not to work.
It's very Harry Potter. Come on, Hermione.
That's a good one. I could potentially lure him. He'll probably be in a much faster state than he usually is, but
Yes,
regardless, he'll have a hard time catching up with me.
Right, then it's cornering. We have to lure him into a alleyway with very little means of escape.
And then get him out the moonlight.
That's not going to change him back, but it might help.
Blanket.
Blanket.
Oh, Kiri, you're
that's-
so cute,
Kiri.
man.
Yeah, Syria, I love you. Like,
Let's-
oh,
let's bring our-
that's adorable.
Let's bring
Let's
our boy
bring our
home.
sick little boy a blanket. Come on.
Look,
and maybe some tomato soup.
Looking.
Let's get-
Is Liana sound like a kitchen?
It's sort of a kitchen, yeah. It's sort of like half and half, yeah. So you do see where you currently sat. The kitchen's off to the left-hand side. You're sort of in the dining room, but there's
Yeah.
no wall between the kitchen and dining room. Essentially, it's
Yeah. Looking in there, Virgil's just going to go through clothes, any curtains, anything that sort of lets natural light in, create sort of like a dark space, and maybe light, just a candle, just sort of keep sort of low, dim light far away, so it's more of a warm space as opposed to lit from the outside.
okay. Excellent.
And yeah, just
Okay.
put a hand on Liana's shoulder. Says, I'm not trying to not help you. Believe me, I'm just trying to.
Oh, you need
Help
more
us
than
all.
I do. Go.
Be safe, darling. Right.
Ruth Alana has given Kyria inspiration for being adorably smart.
Yay!
Justified.
Yeah. So you have
Thank you.
inspiration, mate. Well done. Okay.
So DM,
Yes.
I think you mentioned that we are in the southwestern middle city, right? South
Correct.
of the middle market on the western side.
Correct.
Okay. So if I was to try and think like, I mean, obviously Pim's not in his own mind, but if I was to think where there is more space before a wall would be south, right? Not north, because north is towards the upper city.
Yeah.
Where there's the big wall.
Mm-hmm.
So there's more space south, and that's also the way out of the city where I presume farmlands and stuff like that are.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So once everyone's sort of resigned to actually doing something, Edivir will.
doing things.
No. I'm sorry. That came out wrong. Once everyone is ready to go, is what I meant.
Yeah, you're good.
Once everyone is ready to go, not actually has decided to do something. Sorry. that came
It was
out-
like,
No, it's fine.
the words came out wrong.
it's good.
Edivir will just say like, "Look, we don't know which way he went, but my money would be south towards the lower city. More people, more dark crevices to hide behind, more rooftops to climb over."
He won't. If he is what he's doing, he won't be hiding. We need to look around the building, find the scratch marks, and follow it. It's going to be very much a case of in the direction he runs.
Speed is the key here. So
Yes.
I feel like I could cover a lot more ground on the rooftops on my own, and then check back in with you guys every now and then.
I'll try and keep an open line of communication going. We'll follow by
Yeah.
foot.
We'll
We'll
move as
travel the
we'll
pattern.
move as a unit together, so we're not getting too far away from each other. But I'll be on the roofs in case I can see people running and screaming, things like that. I'll be able to see multiple streets at the same time rather than running through
Okay.
one at a time.
That's fine. Right. Okay then, on 3, break. Go team.
Okay.
On 3, break, everybody goes and have a coffee.
Edivir's going to run out the back door and
Yeah.
climb directly up the part of the wall that he sees the claw marks on, and just sort
Yeah.
of start following the tracks.
Okay, give me an acrobatics check for your parkour shit, please.
I think we're going to be running round the back.
Yeah.
Going back through the kitchen, like, we'll leave in a second. Don't
all three of you run into the back garden. Edivir just goes up to a roof, and you guys go, nope. I just open the back gate and walk out. Like
14.
14. Yeah, fine. You find purchase in various like crevices of the brick and stuff, and kind of clamber your way up to the rooftop.
Yeah. And I'll once I see those guys come into the alleyway, I'll just sort of give them a nod and just scan the horizon, like scan any streets that I can see from where I am to see if I can see anyone running or anything like that.
Okay, make me a perception check.
At the same time, Kyria is going to let out an initial "ow, ow, ow!" to see if there's any.
Hey, make me a.
Virgil wasn't expecting it and just goes, no.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to make me a nature check, Kyria.
Okay.
Mine was just a 12 on perception.
A 12. You start like scanning the initial kind of streets that are around. 12, right?
12, yeah, I didn't roll higher.
You don't see anything, but off in the distance, you hear screams, but like they seem quite far away. Okay. And it's only like the odd scream, and then it fades.
Okay, cool.
But it does give you the general sense that where you're currently positioned in the southwesternly point of the middle city, it's off in the polar opposite direction, so southeasterly of the entire city.
Oh, so
he's gonna across. You get the impression he's gonna cross the city.
Okay, cool. So you guys will just hear like one of those cool whistles that I can't do.
Cool.
And then Edivir will point in that direction.
Edivir, insert cool whistle noise here.
And
Yeah, one of those. Cool whistle noise, guys.
Cool.
Edivir can do it.
You know, I don't know if we need Pim. 21.
Oh,
that's the real decision now.
So you
Pull me
let out.
through it.
Okay.
You better hope Dan doesn't give Evan control of Pim.
Yeah.
This combat.
So Kyria, you let out this huge call, this sort of what you in your head go, this is what I think a werebeast would sound like, and go and make this call. Liana, from inside the property, you hear this call, and the high-pitched noise just kind of raises again as you go and just buckle over. Nothing happens, but the piercing sound just... It's like the rapture is happening just from temple to temple. Like your brain, somebody just took your brain, like opened you up, took your brain, threw it in the washing machine, and went, "Look at this!" Like your head's just going, "Ah!" Like,
can I just say, Dan, from someone having partial tinnitus from playing in bands for too long, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I can feel the pain.
Yeah. It's like just somebody's just in your head, like that clapping monkey is just in your head constantly, like.
Ding, 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 ding.
But you buckle over and you kind of go, and the sensation of what you've just experienced just kind of like rises itself. You don't feel the burning sensation underneath the skin as you had before, but just this mental fucking punch bag that you've currently got in your head, like just woof, you're like, ah. It hurts, and because of that, you are going to take some damage.
Ooh.
I'm so sorry.
You're going to take 8 points of psychic damage.
Jeez.
As this pain just and hits your head again.
All the HPC ad. We can't just on the floor.
But, Kyria. Oh.
Yes.
Sorry.
Excuse you.
No. Apologies, guys at home. Like that just. Kyria,
there's a frog in the bushes.
You let out this call. You don't hear any remote sound of similar calls elsewhere in the city.
Yeah, I think I'll assume I'm just too far away, so I will kind of head in the direction that Edivir's pointed in with Virgil.
Yeah, Edivir just points and just goes east, and then you see him just go ping off like over the rooftops, and I'm gonna start action dash, bonus action dash.
Okay.
East. I'm gonna go about maybe 200 feet, so maybe about like 3 blocks or so. 3 square blocks or so, and then I'll wait because I think Kiri's doing her thing to keep in touch, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll get like a bit out of their range and then stop, wait for them to catch up and survey to see if the position of the screams is moving and stuff like that. So we're going to do like a sort of relay kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh god.
You
A room of corpses.
blood everywhere. No. As you race through the streets with just the spine of somebody, you have no idea how that got. It just. Pim. Flashes. That's all you get. No sense of control over anything. It's like you have just been taken out of yourself, put on the sidelines of what is happening, and just have to watch. But you don't get the whole show. You get glimpses. The first few being just the rush of streets and buildings past your head, and the clambering of these heavy footprints just hitting the ground as you, like, for a split second look down and see these huge paws just on the floor. Then nothing. The next image, similar, distinctly different, as you look down at the paws and see that there is matted fur now, wet and soaked paws, as you hear guttural churns and screams from somewhere behind you. Then nothing. The next image, as arrows just past you, as you through more streets, and then nothing. Next, grass beneath your paws, as you hear a high-pitched whistle. Now, to you, Pim, you know exactly what this is. This is something you have experienced yourself. With all your might, you are trying every bit of you to stop whatever this is, to brace and try to gain control of whatever is holding you at bay. But you cannot. Edivir, you move around 200 feet across rooftops and through streets and alleys, and sometimes you might have to like climb down from a building and across streets and back up. What I'm going to ask all of you to do is I'd like Kyria, Virgil, and Edivir, just make me just general athletics checks at the minute.
Okay.
To see the kind of pace you're picking up and holding at this point.
Yeah, what are those?
So, Evan, essentially what I've done is what's happening to you as a character, where I've just pulled you out and sat you there to watch. I've effectively just done that to Evan and gone, watch this.
Yes.
You just watch this, man. But
Enjoy.
Evan's loving the
gonna-
show. Pim is fucking terrified and probably shitting himself in his subconscious.
I'm going to use my inspiration that Ruth gave me.
okay, cool.
I have inspiration as well. I'm going to use that.
Okay, cool.
I'm glad I did.
Virgil, what did you get?
I got a 5.
Sick.
I got a 13 with advantage.
Okay, cool.
15 with advantage.
15.
But with inspiration.
Okay. Virgil, you at this point, you're so conflicted. You've left Liana behind. You also are so hell-bent on trying to find Pym, but like this whole confliction within your own head has sort of like knocked your whole Jack Sparrow run out of sync, and you're just not holding the kind of pace that Kyria and Edivir are.
Doesn't always run with his hands like that. It's not.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he does.
Yes, he does. I know. I'm just...
It's canon. But you, over a period of a few minutes, as Kyria just like keeps just gaining, the distance between you and Kyria just starts to gain and gain. You're starting to feel you are like the burning in the chest, the exhaustion is sitting in, and you're just kind of like. And you kind of round one corner and go, like, kind of like lean up on one side. You're like, we dwarfs are natural sprinters. Very deadly over close distances. But you kind of like round one corner and like clutching the chest, leaning on a wall, just like. Kyria, you don't even notice that Virgil has kind of stopped, but you see that Kyria is now like 100 yards ahead of you, as you just kind of like go deep breath and just begin to run again. But there's now that gap due to that roll, right?
Can I use this little bit of role play to actually, because there's something I want to do. So while
that's it. We're playing D&D, Dan. Do it.
No.
You want to role play?
Yeah. Just trying to weave the narrative, man. As we left the building and started sort of looking up, Kiri would have noticed while they were close to Virgil that he seems to be trying to muster what little arcade energy is left within his body, and you sort of watch as the faint sort of greenish blue glow sort of comes around his hands. He sort of, as he's running, he seems to be putting effort into trying to draw it out. I'm going to spend my last hero die to give myself first spell slot, because you gave me an extra one last time.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's fine.
I had 2. I now have none. But I'm going to give myself back an extra first level spell slot. And while I'm running, why is my computer doing this? Stop it, you bastard!
Stop it.
Possibly in the corner of your eye, Kiri, you watch as Virgil essentially sort of blows through his hands, and this little sort of bubble of like a just a general shape of a person appears. And as we're running over the course of this, I'm basically casting Unseen Servant with me.
Okay.
So I want it. I'm within the sort of running distance. It takes 10 minutes to cast. So as we're doing this, he's just gradually building this Unseen Servant to run with him. So I now have one when it's ready time to next to me.
Okay, excellent. Edivir, you are very much at the tip of the spear in this like chase across the city.
Just where I like to be.
Yeah, the dagger. How dare I? I'd like to make me another perception check, please. And I'm going to ask you to make me, in fact, maybe an acrobatics first, just to see how swiftly you are diving up and down these buildings and racing across the rooftops.
17.
17 on acrobatics, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, make me a perception check, please.
17.
Okay. You don't see anything. You see nothing. It's dark. We're in the middle of the night at this point. It is evening. It's 8, 9 o'clock at night. But you hear off in the distance towards the easter gate of the middle city, you hear the unmistakable sound of the whistle of City Watch and SBC alerting the nearby authorities to that location.
Okay. So I'll sort of perch on this rooftop that I'm on, staring in that direction, waiting for Kiri to check in once they've caught up. And I will begin preparing with the magnesium that I got.
Mm-hmm.
and some other components and stuff like that. I want to try to begin preparing some kind of like flashbang kind of
Okay.
thing.
Yeah.
Because I've got, I can do smoke bombs, and I think we talked about also doing some other homebrewy stuff.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I think with some magnesium, I'd be able to make some kind of flashy, bangy thing.
Literally just
Like
set on fire, and it's so bright.
Yeah.
Yes, and something to stun, so some kind of concussive, bang, bright light thing.
Okay.
With the materials that I have.
Okay. So I'd like to make me a proficiency check, please, with your crafting tools that you have for.
It would be tinkers for all of my explosive stuff.
Yeah. So I'd like you to roll me a d20, add your dex modifier and your proficiency bonus, please, because I would assume by putting this together, you're trying to be extremely dexterous. So
Yes. So that would be a 23. Got an 18 plus 5.
Okay, you are in a hurry. This is not the best attempt that you could have made. The dice don't dictate everything.
No.
You know what I mean?
I wasn't expecting it to be anything that effective, but the high roll means
I was saying it to the audience at home, going, "He rolled a 23!" Right.
No. I'm also on top of a rooftop trying to trace down a werewolf. So I'm not in a lab.
So you kind of like pull a flask out and just kind of like start jamming like materials in, like very as quickly and carefully, but also like as slowly and succinctly as you can, pouring this magnesium in, like closing it up, putting the flint in, and and just kind of holding it and going, it'll do. It's fine. It will.
Yeah, I think the way to roleplay it out, I think the way he'd do it is he'd get the vial, he'd put the magnesium in the bottom, then he'd just bite off a piece of the leather of his armor, stuff that in there as like a partition between the magnesium, and then take out the bottle of what's it called? The decanter of endless water. Pour a bit of water over the leather stopper and then cork it so that once it smashes, the magnesium will touch the water and create the reaction.
Okay, I love that. Okay, but you successfully
science videos over the weekend.
Anyone watch Nile Blue on YouTube? Basically, the whole inspiration of this character.
You successfully create a flashbang of sorts.
Cool. And then I'll just be, as I'm doing that, I'm waiting for Kyria to check in and just keeping an eye on the direction that I see the stuff going on.
Liana, back at the house, the feeling subsides again. It's not that you are becoming used to it or can control it, but it's very much like if you feel pain in a certain area for a certain amount of time, you just it kind of like becomes numb to itself, even though it hurts. Your body just kind of shuts off nerve endings and shit in that area. Yeah, and you just kind of go, oh, okay. I'd like to. What do you want to do during this period of time? Like, what are you doing?
So she is freaking out a little bit, and she's muttering, "Don't be the savage, don't be the savage, don't be the savage." And then she's going to look around for, I don't know, a basement or a cupboard or something that she can try and contain herself in, just in case.
Okay. It's weird because the previous owner of this house must have had a really large cat, and in the corner you see this this crate pet carrier. You can just get in and like lock it and just kind of sit there. Like, no. Anyway, there's no basement, but there is a pantry.
Okay.
And where the pantry is, you see that there is a key on the outside of the pantry and the lock that you could take the key out, close it, and like lock yourself in if you wanted to.
Yeah, she is very much going to do that, and just huddle in the corner, trying to breathe and trying to regain control.
Okay. You go into the pantry, you lock the door. Do you keep the key with you, or do you push the key out from under the door, or do you keep that with you?
I would keep it with me.
Okay.
She's not smart, even when she's herself.
Turn into a werewolf and then go, oh, with a key.
Okay. You do so, and you lock yourself in, and it is pitch black now. You've shut the door, and you're in, and you're just in this dark space. Tell me, what is going through Leanna's mind at this point? Like, what are you feeling? What are you thinking?
she has always had a fear of becoming what people saw her as. And she very much sees this as that. She's just trying to she's desperately just trying to be herself and not what people expect her to be.
Okay.
And yeah, she is just, if anyone was there, they would hear, "Don't be the savage, don't be the savage," over and over and over again, like 1,000 times. Just, that is all she is focusing solely on.
Okay. And are you doing anything to kind of center yourself in this moment?
Yes. So, I'm trying to picture my life before the arena and the few memories I have. So she is trying to picture family and trees and life before the arena.
Okay. Though these memories are fond, they are distant.
Yeah.
Hard to hold on to. You get the image of you playing with this kind of makeshift bat and ball with other children of the village that you're from, and then flashes of you walking through tall meadows with your hand kind of reaching up and holding onto your mother's paw as she sings to you like she used to do. And that image fades, but the song stays with you. And though you're trying to stay as calm as you can, without realizing it, you start to hum the same melody. And just as the memory fades and the rhythmical harmony of this melody starts to beat out from your chest, you relax and you feel calm, but you naturally, I suppose, and very subconsciously have moved yourself to the very far wall, and have tried to make yourself as small as possible. Like, you have kind of tucked your knees to your chest, you're holding your knees and kind of tucking yourself in to make this beautiful little leonin ball in this pantry as you're just kind of rocking very slowly. And as you are humming this melody to yourself and just gripping your knees and rocking back slowly.
I think while that's happening, a new image would definitely have filled her mind of a very confined space where she hummed that song last, and she starts to cry.
Yeah. Edivir, Virgil, and Kyria. Don't worry, Pim, I'm coming to you in a moment.
Or death and destruction, you're coming your way.
Pain. Lots and lots of pain.
Lots of pain.
What do you guys want to do?
I watched A Knight's Tale the other day.
So good. I will throng you!
Pain! Lots of pain! It was on the Netflix Galentine's Day playlist. Anyway, sorry.
So that's what you've been doing.
Yeah, I've been celebrating Galentine's Day.
So, just as a little thing here, if you remember the one shot that we did with Dan at the thing, with my character that goes, Colin! I got it. I got that inspiration from him where he goes, William! So anyway, continue.
Nice. What was the question?
What do you guys want to do?
Doing?
We're doing everything.
I think Kyria is definitely kind of, as we get closer and closer, I'm going to try and do the call again to see if I get a response.
Okay, nature check, please.
Guidance.
Okay, so you're just going to let out this huge animalistic roar again. Yeah? Cool.
I mean, I think I'd dip into an alley, probably, because if
Just-
I'm running, doing it, and then keeping on moving, I'm not staying put. I just want to see if I can get almost a beat
Okay.
on where Pim is, I guess.
Okay.
Nature.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's cocked.
With guidance.
With guidance, that's a 16.
A 16. Edivir and Virgil, you have no eye line of where Kyria is.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
But Kyria, you dart into an alley as you're keeping track of where Edivir has gone in the direction.
Yeah.
But you jump into an alleyway and go, let out this this huge noise. Virgil and Edivir. Edivir, your head just kind of snaps back. And Virgil, you hear that from just ahead of you.
I mean, Virgil
And
comes to a complete standstill.
But as you do that, Kyria,
Yeah.
probably not the result you were looking for.
Again.
But you all three hear from the next street over another whistle.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's all right. They're looking for a werewolf, not us.
Time
Yeah,
is
but
of the
they're also
essence.
looking for us. Okay.
All right,
now. Message up to Edivir. And just like,
Yeah.
it's only me. Any keep on going the same way?
Yes, but it looks like he's already reached the Easter Gate. He might be outside the walls by now.
Right. Okay.
Let's keep going. Is Virgil still with you?
As you turn around, Virgil runs around the corner of the alleyway going,
He's out.
As he runs around, having heard the howl and seeing Kyrian putting two and two together, it was just, darling, I appreciate the thinking, but that's going to draw all the city guard towards us, and we don't want that.
Okay, I'm sorry. Bundling their blanket.
yeah.
Continuing to move.
Yeah, Edivir replies back, I'm going to try and get ahead a little bit more, so I won't be checking in for a minute, but check in with me once you get to the east side of the central market.
Okay.
And I'm beating it.
Beating it. Okay.
So my intention is to go as fast as I possibly can across rooftops and all that stuff, because it's dark now, so I don't have to sneak as much.
Yep.
And I'm going to try and pretty much get as far close towards the Easter Gate as I can, really, to see
Excellent.
if the commotion has gone beyond the walls. And then once I've established that, even if I see Pim, I'm going to head straight back to the east side of the central market.
Okay. So you guys are
That's the plan.
heading it still towards the Easter Gate, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trying on the ground, trying to keep it as side streety as humanly possible. It's the kind of running we've always been doing, so ducking and diving between alleyways,
Okay.
not just main thoroughfares running through hoping for the best.
Yep. Make me a stealth check, Kyria and Virgil, please. Anyway, I won't need you to make one because you are rooftop scurrying across, right? And you are fast as fuck, boy!
Yeah, boy, 120 feet around.
Oh, you go 70.
You're 30.
It's
I'm
not the
smart.
same.
I'm not built for this.
Not
Wait,
the same as Ash.
Physical activity.
I got a 10.
I got a 13.
Ooh.
Okay.
You beat
So-
me.
Just because I'm huddling in every corner trying to catch a breath.
Actually, I mean, should I do some kind of like athletics check because I'm dashing for an extended period?
I'm
I think there's
going
rules
to-
for that, right?
I'm going to make you do one in a minute, but
Okay, fine.
Virgil and Kyria,
Across the
though you
room.
are trying to keep as stealthy as possible during this chase through the streets of let's play that again. Don't know why that stopped. Through the streets of Wyndmere, I think as much as you're trying to stay stealthy, you're very much keeping a pace. So it's
Yeah, Kyria's more focused on keeping up than
yeah.
staying hidden.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You guys continue on. Edivir, I will have an athletics check, please, because you are dashing constantly. I just need to see, are you doing well at this point, or are you starting to run out of steam?
11.
You are starting to run out of steam a little bit. You feel there's lactic acid starting to build up in muscles, and you're just like, fucking.
Yeah.
But in a weird way, that's spurring you on. Like, you're kind of like, okay, crunch time now. Like, push through. Like, this is either like...
Yeah, like
The runner's high is coming.
in mechanical terms, like Edivir is willing to take some like exhaustion points and stuff like that. If it comes to that, he's pushing.
Yeah. So you are at that point where you're like, if I continue to push as hard as I am now with how fast I'm going and the pace I'm setting, I know that I'm going to feel this when I stop. Like, it will probably have a negative effect on you. So just be aware. You guys continue pushing through the streets until you get to around 50 or so feet away from the Easter Gate. There is fucking chaos. You perch on top of one of the roofs to get a very clear eye line towards the Easter Gate, Edivir. And Virgil and Kyria, you are at the precipice of one of the alleyways that leads onto the main thoroughfare that runs the length of the outer wall of Wyndmere.
Just as we hit that precipice, Hood's going up for the Cloak of Elvenkind.
Okay, cool. But you all three see there is commotion. There are City Watch just kind of like pointing out of the gate. You see there's one individual just kind of like blowing a whistle to alert any person of authority to come to this location. As you see them all kind of like pointing. Edivir, I'm going to make you make the perception check because you have an elevated position.
I have just a quick question, Dan. I don't have a hero point, do I? I think I've used it today. I can't remember though.
Virgil used one last session, I believe.
Yeah, but it's...
Do I have one?
In this adventuring day, I think you may have used it in the combat outside of Out of Olden's, I think, from memory.
I think I did.
I'm going to say no, you don't, but let this just be a very polite thing to all of you. Please just try and keep track of...
Yeah, I think it's because it's been multiple sessions. I had kept track, but I couldn't remember which it was.
Yeah, a long day.
That's cool. I get it. That's fine. We'll say no for now, but we'll just kind of move forward with that. Perception check was?
It was a 13.
You see, Edivir, that there are 3... City Watch stood over what appears to be another member of the City Watch who is laid out on the ground in a puddle of blood with this huge claw mark up their chest. And you see that there is one individual down on the ground with like a tourniquet and bandages just trying to like stem the bleeding. This individual is not moving though.
I'm keeping an eye on that individual quite specifically now that I've noticed that. Probably in lieu of even looking for Pim anymore, like I'm laser focused on that guy to see if I see any sign of movement at any point over the next minute until I hear from Kyria again.
Okay.
Because those guys have reached the Easter Gate as well, yeah?
Yeah. So they're like, so where you're perched on one building around 50 or so feet, they're in an alleyway around 20 or so feet off to one side.
Yeah. I think...
Okay, you go.
No, so I was just going to say, as we're kind of there in touch, I'm going to kind of message but say it out loud as well, so Virgil can hear. Just like, listen, I have a plan, but I'm spent. I could disguise myself and try and be some kind of, creature control, pest control type of situation, an authority that they're going to reach to and hopefully stand back and keep them at bay. But I can't. And Dan's hurt himself.
No, I got a cramp.
Oh. But I don't have anything in me. I don't know what to do.
We're just going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. I'm pretty sure Pim's outside of the walls. He's hurt someone. Can I look to see, is the wall manned? Are there people on the ramparts?
Amazing question. Make me another perception check, please, because you would have to then start looking out for that.
Ooh, 21.
Yes, it is. You see that there is... You see the outer wall, which is around 70 to 100 feet. I mean, that's a big fucking gap, like 70 to 100, but... It varies in places, but this is a huge fucking wall. All buildings within this area are lower than the outer wall. And you kind of like look up and you see that there is torches being lit on the outer wall, and you see like the tips of spears as they're like, and you
So
kind of
they're
like look.
manning the walls quite heavily. Yeah.
Yes, it appears that as we speak, and you're kind of like, you look down towards the most southern point and the northern point of this wall, and you see that there is torches and pikes traveling down
Holy
the wall
shit, Tim.
in this direction. You also, with that, hear off to the south, off behind you, the heavy foot traffic of metallic footsteps on Cobble Street, of armed forces on its way to this location. You have moments, guys, before
And
anything happens.
one last observation.
Yeah.
Having looked down at the sort of chaos happening around the gate,
Yep.
does it appear that civilians have been cleared out of this area, or is there still
Yeah.
people panicking and running around?
No. There appears to be no civilians, and it is just all authorities.
Can I make some checks sort of as I've arrived at this place, just a little bit further back, so we're sort of at the same time doing things. So sort of looking from downed man who's being surrounded by people.
Yeah.
The gate itself that we're looking at is like the gate. How big is the gate? Like how huge are we talking? Because we've not been to an the Beast Gate before yet, have we?
You will have come through this gate, actually, Virgil, when you
Okay.
first arrived at the city. This is the gate that you entered the city in. So you know
done.
that the actual gate itself is, we're talking like 40 feet high, 25 feet to 30 feet wide. It has this huge portcullis across like this bar, like these metal portcullis that could be dropped at any moment. And
Yeah.
you see this general commotion, and there is this high-pitched whistling. I'm going to repeat this, guys. You have moments. What are you
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry.
kind of.
So,
Overlapping. This is all at the same time.
Okay, sound.
yeah. Just again looking from the bloke, do I see very visible claw marks in the dirt leading out of the gate, essentially? So where he's been struck, and then sort of like.
I'll let you make a perception check, but this is going to be a high DC to try and pick this up from where you are. You are about 70 plus feet away from that area.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Perception.
Just where I am.
Yeah.
So do I have a view on the kind of the guard, the forces? Like, can I get myself into a position where I can see people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're on the edge of this alleyway. You kind of
Cool.
like are on where the main thoroughfare that runs the length of the outer wall. You are at that point in an alleyway, just kind of looking down to your left.
Yeah.
Up 70 feet or so is the
Can
big gate.
I identify who is kind of coordinating efforts? Like, who seems to be the leader?
Oh, amazing
at the moment of this effort?
question. Yeah,
So good.
Such a great question. Perception check from you as well, please.
Okay.
Dan? Sorry,
right.
Virgil. You're not Dan anymore. You're Virgil until we finish this session.
It is my role. 14 on my perception check.
You cannot see
No,
paw
okay,
prints,
fair.
but you do see the very visible, like, claw mark
Yeah.
up. And as you're looking around this individual, they are not moving. And you just see
okay.
the pool of blood that they're laying just get, like, gradually, increasing.
You just hear a mutter from Virgil. Okay, it's number 3.
17.
17. You do see the person that's coordinating efforts, and you can't hear anything at this point, but
That's
you see
fine.
them very much just like pointing down at the body, pointing off to one of the guardhouses that's attached to the gate. You see him picking out a whistle. You then see him pull out it's hard to see from this point, but you, knowing full well how the sending spell works, pulls out this very thin piece of wire and begins to speak into it.
Yeah.
And just
Okay, that's very helpful. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, from the silence, having pinpointed who's in charge, I am going to, in a deep, gravelly voice, go, WMCCF, we're on our way. What's the status report?
Is this telepathic, or did I hear this?
WNCCF.
Yeah,
God.
Wyndmere Mythic Creature Control Force.
nice.
You would have sort of, so I didn't know when to get this in. You would have at some point heard Edivir say to you, "There's a regiment incoming. Get off the street," kind of thing.
Okay. The individual gets this message and just goes, WMC. We have a situation here. Please keep the airways clear.
Get off this channel.
Radio silence. Radio silence.
The mythic creature control force, you summoned us. We're on a route. What's happened?
There is no time to talk. Get here now. And literally, you can see, and you are staring this individual at the face, and like they just kind of turn to two of the other Crown's Guard members and just kind of go. And you see them just getting visibly fucking angry at this point, and they are barking orders. One second, let me change the music to something more terrifying. One sec.
More terrifying.
Let's change it to my
Jesus
killing theme.
The taste of iron and blood in your mouth is palpable. Like, this is unlike anything else you've ever felt or experienced in your entire life. You feel rage, unbridled fury. This is painful. Painful. And because of how much this hurts, you want to hurt everybody around you just as much. And this flash of image of this, the whites of this individual's eyes. Nothing. Grass beneath the paws. The moon shining ever so bright. You see a creature in the next image in front of you. White and black on its skin, with red pouring from its throat. This large bovine creature.
No!
As you feel and taste
Steak.
this bloody, putrid taste within your mouth, as you see blood drip onto the grass beneath you. And that's where we're going to take a quick break.
Oh, God damn it. Oh, no.
What happens when a vegetarian tries meat?
Pim was fine with the killing
He's
of
gonna have
people
the
because he was like, I can
worst
deal with
time
that.
on the
but,
toilet.
like,
That's what I'm going to tell him. He's going to have the worst time on the toilet.
Yeah, this is
following
gonna-
this.
Red meat does things to you.
guys, we will be back in around 10 minutes. We'll probably be back on the hour. We're just going to get a quick break, and we will be back with this.
Yes.
Don't go anywhere. Go get a drink. Go sort yourselves out. We'll be back in just over 10 minutes. We'll see you in a minute. Bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the chaos that is Tales on Tap, Aerilon, a Destined Journey. For those of you that have been with us since the start of this campaign, you know that there is a common theme so far, which is, what the fuck is happening? Well, let's find out. Edivir, Virgil, Kyria, guards are encroaching on your position as we speak.
Not from behind us or just around? 'Cause we're in an
Around.
alley.
Around
Just around.
the general area.
Standing in the roof of the mouth? Standing in the mouth of the alleyway, sort of looking at everything and realizing there is very little he can do right now. Virgil's just going to sort of tap Kiri quietly and just start gradually making his way back to the other end of the alleyway. Get out of sight.
Okay.
Yeah, Kyria will follow.
Yeah, seeing no further developments or anything like that, I'll loop back round to go down and meet them in the alleyway.
Okay, you do so. It takes you a moment or two, but you all reconvene at the opposite end of the alleyway to the Easter Gate.
Yeah.
Well, he's out then.
Yeah, Edivir, you just see him kind of down the wall, and he just sort of walks up to you. Well, just using his doing the whole like dagger in the wall to slow himself down thing. Puts his dagger away and he just says, "There's no way through.
No.
The walls are
Dang.
manned. The gate is busy."
We need to regroup. We need to think about this properly. We have no idea how much ground he has covered in this form. He could be miles away by now. Lycanthropes aren't known for stopping too long in one place.
When he comes out of it, he's going to need us. We can't leave him behind.
We're not leaving him behind, but in our state, we can't be captured. We can't walk through that gate. We can't make our way around. We have nothing once we get on the other side.
But neither
We don't
can
even have our
we.
strongest member.
Wait, what did you just say?
Me?
First thing. And he's pointing at Virgil. In our state.
In our state, in the current state we're in.
And he looks at Kiri and he pulls out the bottle that he showed them at
The
the hidden star with the blue liquid with sort of flakes in it. You said that this turns you into water, right?
Yes, it should.
I mean, the sewer systems must lead outside the city.
Typically.
Yeah. Yes, but finding the correct pipe to lead us to the correct part of the exit of where we need to get to. So we are within... It's a lot of space to cover in a short amount of time, even if you are fluid, as we also very are.
Or either that or it might make one of us easier to carry if someone's got something to get us through the gate.
I
might be able to get over the wall without being seen, but there's torches.
high
And...
risk.
You, as you were all talking, you hear
Yeah.
as you kind of like
against
turn,
the wall.
yeah, and as you go woof, and look back towards the end of the alley where the Easter Gate is, you see a charge of 6 City Watch past the entrance of the alleyway towards the Easter Gate.
We can't let them catch him because if they catch him and he turns back, he's still in trouble.
If they catch him, if they can find him. Fact of the matter is, we don't know how much ground they're going to cover. For how long? We have no idea how far away he's gone. We can use their lack of knowledge as well as ours to our advantage. Sometimes not knowing is the best source. They don't know where they're going, or what they're looking for necessarily, or who they're looking for once he turns back.
But they're still looking for him, even if he's Pimp.
Yes,
my
but they're
point.
looking for us, and they're looking for us as well.
Can I look, as I'm sort of having this conversation, can I be looking on the floor of this alleyway to see if there are any sewer grates?
Sure. You do see, it's not so much a sewer grate as such. There is a very small little,
Like a drain, more like.
effectively, yeah. There's like a very, very small little like runoff in the middle of the alleyway where the alleyway is very much like tapered towards the middle. There is a small little runoff where water would pour, and towards the end of the alleyway, towards the Easter Gate, around 10 feet from the edge of the alleyway, you do see that there is a very small grate in the center.
I can try and do. I don't think it'll work, but I can try and do my thing.
As you say this, Kyria, make me a perception check, please. In fact, no. Don't worry. Because you will all hear this. I'm just sorry. DM brain is going. Does this need a roll? Apologies. You all hear the unmistakable bang of something very large and very close go. And as you all turn, you hear that sound come off from east.
That's the gates down.
Oh, is it the gates? Right. Okay.
Wait.
I like to imagine that's what Kyria said as well.
Oh,
right, yeah,
yes.
we're near the gate, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, look, I think there's no way for us to follow Pim now, all of us.
No.
The only way out is through the sewers. And with
Even if
this...
we can't catch him, if we can get close enough to look and find him and see him from a distance and avoid any potential influence from anybody else, we don't have to act right now. We need to keep an eye on him.
It's a lot of ifs, darling. It's a lot of ifs.
We can track him, keep an eye on him until he turns back, try and stop him and distract him from doing any more damage. And if he does end up getting into a position where he's about to be captured, we can intervene.
How? I'm sorry, I'm really not trying to be... I
understand,
But
look,
you are good with a knife, I get it. But against that many armed guards,
it's
with
not
him
about
who
what...
may tear you up as much as them.
Virgil, this isn't about what we're good at. This is about who we are and
Yes.
who Pym is to us. If I was, a fishmonger, knowing what I know, I'd be saying the same thing. I don't leave friends.
Well,
To their
what
fate
about
without
Liana?
them. Liana's all right.
Really? Partially or not completely transformed?
Pym's
Stuck in a
worse.
house? Yes, but they're in a home alone. If we don't come back, what are they going to do?
I agree with you, so maybe someone should.
We can't keep making ourselves into smaller and smaller groups. Editor, if we can just do this as a 4. He is gone very far. Hells, they may find him before we do, and we can intervene at that
Exactly.
point. But we need to be more on point with this. We can't go out hoping and dreaming that this is going to work, because it may not.
If they find him before we do, there's no chance for us to intervene. We have to find him first.
Well, not like this, we're not. We're not trackers. And we have had a
No.
long day.
We're not. We're his friends.
Yes.
And yes, it's been a long day. Boo fucking who. There's going to be a lot of them.
Oh, fine. Okay, so we'll just throw caution to the wind, hope we find our werewolf friend, not surrounded by hundreds of armed guards, and we don't all get arrested or worse, killed on the spot. Is that what we're saying right now? That's what we're going to throw ourselves into, without Liana, arguably our strongest member. What's the plan here, Edivir, apart from we need to find our friend? What is the plan?
That is the plan.
Then I have mistaken you for the cunning individual I thought you were, because that is a suicide mission.
All right, well, I suppose it better be me that does it then.
No, it doesn't have to
I'm
be
going.
any of us.
I'm going.
Where are you going?
I'm
Love.
going.
Where?
I
Do
don't know.
what?
I'm going to find Pym.
Can we all please just think?
It's not a matter of planning. I understand, Virgil. I truly do. But the thing is, sometimes plans fall to shit anyway.
Yes,
there
but
is-
all of
you
ours
can't-
do.
You can't plan for any eventuality here. What I know is that I will not be able to rest up if I don't at least try.
As you both say this, you visibly see Virgil's hands start to move and sort of twist in a very sort of odd fashion as he. No, we can't. There is a lot we can do. We just need the proper knowledge.
Virgil,
This is not something we can just throw ourselves into and hope it'll work out.
go and
Oh, and what?
go and see Taliana.
And what? Wait for you to not return? Watch you two go off and die.
We're already waiting for Pym to maybe not return if we go back now without doing anything.
Yes, but it doesn't have to be all of us. I know what is
No,
happening.
it doesn't have to be all of us. Go back and look after Liana.
No, not without the two of you.
Then come with
Because
us.
you think she's going to sit there and go, oh, they've just left the wall. Fine, I'll sit here and do nothing. In her broken down state, she will drag herself through that wall to find you. Can we all just, please, I don't know, go back, regroup, rest, be the best that we can be so that we can go and find our friend? Because at the moment we're not. It is just not feasible. Do you not see where I'm coming from? Am I
I do see where you're coming from.
primordially
You're coming from the careful and logical standpoint. But you know what? Pym's a fucking werewolf. There's nothing careful or logical about that. And we have to deal with that situation. Some of us aren't the type to sit on our laurels. And that's not what I'm saying what you do. I know. I have a way of talking. Okay, don't take it personally. But
Look,
we're driven. Well, I have to help my friend. It's as simple as that,
He
mate.
held my hand and helped bring me back. I need to do the same for him.
More heavy footsteps heading in this direction.
He just turns to Kyria. How are you going to get out?
Let me give this a go. And I am going to. So I technically do not have a charge.
Okay.
I am willing to use my last bardic inspiration, a point of exhaustion. I'm going to cast guidance on myself to commune with my spirits around me to activate ghostly flesh and turn incorporeal again.
I am going to see your offer of one level.
You can raise it if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm going to see your offer of 1 level of exhaustion, bardic inspiration, to try and make this happen, and I would like 2 levels of exhaustion and and your last remaining bardic inspiration to make this happen.
Oof.
2 levels of speed as well.
Yep, so that halves your speed.
But would it halve your speed in the spirit form?
I don't know.
Technically,
We're gonna find out.
but-
Well, we might find out, but that's what it's going to take you, Kyria. You are pushing yourself past your limits. You are going to put yourself in a really precarious position.
Yeah, I know. If I do this, it's risky. Edivir, it might be a matter of me getting us both over.
If we stick to the pipes, we can stick together without you having to do anything for me. I'll use this. We'll find a
It could
way.
take us through the walls.
It could take us out under the walls. The sewers must lead somewhere. Do I know of any rivers? Do I know of any rivers near the city?
Ooh, how...
Or is this close enough to the edge of Skyhaven that it might just go over? Can you imagine coming out the end of a pipe and just pipes go straight down.
You don't know. You don't know if there's a river nearby or what. You don't know.
Really?
Answer me this then. How often have you been outside of the city walls?
I've flown into it.
But how often have you been outside of the city walls since you've been here?
Never.
Right.
Me neither.
So
I've only been here 6 weeks. I've got an excuse.
So let's be sensible and probably you wouldn't know, mate. I'm going to say it's difficult. You don't even know if there's a sewer system that runs anywhere. You don't know.
All sewer systems run somewhere.
Everywhere goes somewhere. Anyway.
Point of a sewer system.
More footsteps heading in your direction. Guys, I need a decision. What are you doing?
It?
Can you stop? No, can you stop ignoring me and just think?
We're not
with your
ignoring
heads?
you. We're listening to what you're saying. We disagree. All right?
You are going to get yourselves killed. Do you want that? Is that going to help anything? Is that going to help Pim when you potentially get where you need to go, run into the wrong kinds of people, get locked up, stabbed, or worse? Is that going to help him? Can you
I think I'm
tell
already
me,
dead.
Yes, can you tell me with any degree of certainty that you can do this?
No.
Then don't. I implore you with everything I have inside me. This is coming from a place of care for all of us. Please do not do this. Please don't do it. You're going to ruin yourselves. And us.
Kiri, I'm going to push you for a decision, please.
Risk 2 levels of exhaustion.
Okay, so you...
I can't. It's going to fuck us over even if we get over.
So you're not taking
can't.
no, you're not taking the offer. Okay.
I can't.
Okay, what are we doing, guys?
Fuck.
Hate me all you want, okay?
We don't
Blame
hate
me
you,
once-
Virgil.
Blame me when this is over, but let's get back to the house, see if Liana hasn't...
Wait.
turned.
I pull out the calling card.
Okay.
Raven, I know we're asking too much of you. I know we're asking too much of you. Please have eyes in the sky. Please look for our friend.
What, Bumblebee? What
Yes.
is... hello? What? Have
Have you seen the fuss at the East Gate?
I'm nowhere near the... Sweetheart, I'm in the lower city. I'm outside Alden's place as we agreed. What is happening?
Pim. There's a curse. He's transformed. All the guards are here and he's out and we can't get to him. We're stuck.
What?
I'm not asking you to do anything. Simply, I know we said eyes in the skies at Alden's, but this is priority. And I look to the others for reassurance.
Yes, if you can help them,
Can you
do it.
just
I'll
try
take
and
over.
find him?
I will do what I can. I can't promise, but I will do what I can.
Okay, thank you.
If this is truly as bad as you've just said, then you cannot be caught up in this.
I know.
Right. If I see or find anything, I will come back to you as quickly as I can.
Tell him he's a werewolf. Tell him he's a werewolf.
It's a werewolf. Or a
He's
beast of some kind.
What?
Yes, that's the curse I've mentioned. He's not Pim right now. You're
Hey.
looking for a creature on the loose.
Last
We don't
known
have to do-
location.
Last known location, leaving the Easter Gate, there is a guard down.
Ah, fuck.
I don't need you to intervene. I just need you to have eyes on him. We need to know where he is. We won't get wrapped up in this. I know you said to be careful. We won't. We'll be careful. But just, I need to know where he is. If you can try and spot him, that would be incredible.
Fine. But you owe me one.
I know.
Edivir has already started leading people away as stealthily and ducking behind to see breaks
Okay.
in the guards and stuff like that.
So you're heading back west towards the house.
For now, yeah.
I love Raven's reaction. Oh.
Okay.
I hate this.
Me too.
This is against everything I wrote this character to be. But okay.
For the sake of brevity.
Yeah.
I know that you guys fucking hate it when I say this,
No,
but
no.
That's fine.
for the sake of brevity, you guys make your way back across the city, back to the house.
I think once we get away from some of the more worse commotion, he's going to turn to Kiara and Virgil.
Kiara?
So, Kyria.
Yeah.
Who's Kiara?
Kiara, Virgil.
And I'll just say, we need eyes on Alden's place. I can take up the shift while you guys get back.
If that's what you really want to do. But do we not need to formulate a plan first about getting out of the city into the wilds to find our friend?
Well, you wanted to rest, so
Yes, well,
fuck it, let's just go. Fuck Alden.
we're not going to learn anything in the state we're in.
You traipse back across the city until you reach your new home. And upon entering, let's change this music a little bit, shall we?
Is there, do we happen to spot on the way back any people that the other two don't see?
What?
Do I happen to spot anybody that the other two don't see on the way back?
I think at this point, Kyria, maybe you wouldn't know.
Yeah,
I don't think you're like walking back through the city. Go, hey, yo, like, what's happening?
Is that guy Alden? Can you just keep an eye out?
Yeah.
You see the dead city guard running back to his post going, shit.
Oh, damn it, I'm late for work.
And I didn't mean that to come off the cuff as
No,
it
it's
did,
fine.
but I would probably
No.
say,
I'm a bit too.
yeah. Let's just assume maybe. But you guys make it back to the house. Do you like the music, by the way? This is somber, isn't it? Oh, no. But you make it back to the house.
Yeah. Edivir, as soon as he walks through the door, just sort of like opens the door and just like takes his scimitar off his hip and just throws it across the room.
As it skids and hits one of the chairs.
Sees Liana isn't there.
Yeah.
Liana?
Liana.
Doesn't
I
respond.
turn to Virgil, I go, am I saying that wrong?
No, it's just the way it's my cadence. Sorry. Liana.
She doesn't respond, but for those who have a higher perception, you would hear her.
He's gone.
Bim's not here. We left that motherfucker.
Sorry, go on, Liana. Continue.
Yeah, so anyone that has, a high enough perception would hear audible crying coming from the pantry.
I don't think anybody would pick this up until I would assume one of you were kind of like, as you start fanning out and like looking through the property, as one of you does enter the kitchen.
Yeah,
Less-
Eddie would have probably gone upstairs, so.
Yeah, I would probably say, Kyria, you've kind of like meandered into the kitchen and you are stood kind of like in this haze of what the fuck has happened, you hear this just sobbing noise from the pantry to your side. And you reach down and grab the handle and rattle, and it does not turn or open. The door doesn't move.
Liana? It's okay.
There's some movement and some, you know.
Oh,
This is my box. This is my box.
And you hear this audibly, Kyria.
You don't need to be in a box anymore.
I need to be in a box. I might hurt you. I need to be in a box.
Liana, you're not going to hurt me, okay? I trust you.
You see, it takes like probably a full minute before you hear anything, and then there's movement inside.
I'm not scared of
Sure.
you.
Well, maybe you're not as smart as I thought you were. As she opens the door.
And the
I immediately
door.
hug her.
This
It takes her a full second to actually hug you back, but she kind of just stands there as you hug her for a second, and then she allows you to hug her, and she hugs you back. And she's just wet from tears, like her fur is wet.
Kind of like give you like a reaffirming like scritch on the back. I'm not scared of you, Liana. I know who you are.
I don't. I thought I did.
Hey, I don't know who I am either. That's something we can figure out.
Maybe.
But I know you're not going to hurt us.
And she kind of, you do see she tenses a little bit at that. She's like, did he hurt anyone? Did you find Pim? Pim?
He's not
She
here.
kind-
We couldn't get there in time. He's hurt
He's
people.
dead?
No. He's not dead. We've sent the Raven to keep an eye on him. He's left out of the East Gate. There's a guard. It wasn't Pim.
no.
But we can't
No.
do anything. We can't leave. The Raven's keeping an eye out, but
Can't
I don't-
imagine Edivir would want to have given up his prey so easily.
you see Elevir run down the stairs as if to see if anyone's found Liana. He comes to the bottom of the stairs and sees you, and there's like a drop of relief, and then sees you having this conversation and just kind of goes, looks back at you for a second, and then just walks off into another room as if looks kind of disappointed in himself almost.
Yeah.
neither of us. Virgil's right, and I know that Pim wouldn't want us risking everything. But I don't know, the Raven's looking out for him and is gonna check in when he has eyes on him. I don't
If
know
he's
what
out
else
of the
we can do.
city, at least there's less guards to maim him. He might actually be safer out of the city than at the moment in the city.
Yeah. And to come daytime, I assume he'll be Pim again.
I have no idea.
And maybe
really
Mark can help him
Sorted.
get back.
I can't do that again. I can't do that again. We need to find someone, find something, a book, a wizard, an old hag. I don't care. We need to find someone, somewhere. I can't do that again.
We'll figure it out. We will. We'll get him back, and then we'll fix this. Okay?
I really, really, really need to sleep.
Yeah.
And she kind of looks back to the closet, as in, like, maybe she should go back in there, and then shakes her head.
No one should go back.
As...
Ally!
And she just gives you one last sort of soft squeeze on your shoulder as she stomps upstairs very slowly, leaning heavily on the banister.
Yeah.
To the room with all the warrior stuff in it.
And onto one of the bunk beds.
No, that's the other one.
No.
No, I know. That's why I was joking.
Ah.
It was
Didn't catch
clearly a very good one. Sorry.
Virgil, what are you doing?
So after everyone has walked into the house and he's made sure everyone's in and closed the door, he sort of leans against it briefly before flicking the hood down and rubbing his face very hard, sort of stretching himself out for right. I'm going to make a list. I'm going to do something. I need to research this. I need to figure out transmutation that was going to be on Major. You'll be fine at this, okay? And he sort of stalks straight into the dining room where Liana had been and ignites a few more candles and places them on table for us, taking out a paper sheet. And you just see Quill with more intent than normal, just like flick straight out. And it's just writing reams of, right, I need bits on lycanthropy, I need bits on curing it, I need bits on how it's going to work, I need to do this, I need to do that. And as the quill is writing independently of him, you see sort of two of his fingers on his right hand just digging this very deep hole into one of the tables where his nail is set in, and he's just grinding away at it. And you can very much see him trying to fix this from afar and figure out how he's going to do this. And it's just, there's a tension with him you've not seen before, but it's palpable around him.
Okay. Kyria, Ediver, Virgil, and Liana. For the sake of brevity, you guys spend the rest of the evening in just complete loss, desperation, this sunken feeling of failure.
Ediver's chain smoking in the garden.
Though maybe not through your own cause, the feeling doesn't subside. You want to do something, but you can't. This complete feeling of helplessness washes over all four of you. You all do your various things before calling it a night. Some of you gaining what little restless sleep you can. Liana fucking passed out to the world, just like essentially just curled up in a ball on your cot, just holding yourself close while gaining as much sleep as you can. Some of you may not even sleep this evening due to what's happened.
Kyria kind of is outside in the courtyard for the evening, and is kind of, secondhand smoke of Eddie just like changed.
Yeah, Eddie's kind of sat with his elbows on his knees on the doorstep, the back doorstep, with like a small little pile of rolly butts just between his feet. And just sort of pretty much every time he finishes one, he just starts rolling another one.
Yeah, you see kind of Kyria like rifling through bushes and finding like really nice twigs and flowers that they spot, and they're basically going to be occupying themselves by trying to weave like almost like a little plaque or headboard, essentially, for Pim's bunk bed.
Oh,
Okay.
And it might be shit, but that's what they're trying to do just to keep them occupied.
Okay. The evening passes. As I say, some of you may gain a little bit of rest. Liana, you do get a long rest, and you can knock one of your levels of exhaustion off. I, again, just want to know, and I'm going to leave it up to you guys, if you have, given everything that's happened, are you going to be able to take a rest and sleep this evening? I'm going to come to you individually. if you take a rest and you do gain a long rest, we'll take it as such. But for roleplay purposes, I don't want to just put this on you and go, you all gain a long rest. Like, so, Kyria, do you think that given everything that's happened today, from when you've woke up to now, do you think Kyria would be in a position to be able to get your head down and get any rest at all this evening?
I think Kyria would, as usual, stay up late. And will be kind of weaving to the point where their eyes begin to blur and they kind of find themselves drifting off just from sheer exhaustion and kind of helplessness. It's just kind of like acceptance of the situation. It's just like, he'll be back tomorrow. He'll be back tomorrow. And cuddles up on kind of Pim's bunk and just kind of falls asleep there with weaving with twigs and stuff everywhere. But will pass out, but it'll be probably 1 a.m. ish.
Okay. You also then gain the benefits of a long rest. Edivir.
Edivir would, because it's the way sort of Edivir gets to sleep. He stays up for a little bit, smoking, thinking, and stuff like that. But then he kind of just naturally just turns in, rolls onto one side, and falls asleep quite quickly because he's a man who's gone to sleep with a lot of unknowns and worrying about a lot of people many times in his life. So it's being in situations like this is something more frustrates him than it does sort of, traumatize him or affect his natural rhythms and stuff like that. It's something he's used to, but still very much angers him. He's more sort of a little bit frustrated about not being out there. But once he gets over that by chain smoking in the garden for about 2 hours, he does just go to sleep and gets to sleep quite quickly.
Okay, then you also gain the benefits of a long rest. Cool. Virgil.
So, sort of probably seeing Kiri walk outside and do what they're doing and sort of looking through the back door to the other two smoking outside once the list is completed. He sort of looks to himself and tries to compartmentalize everything and sort of rolls over like, right, that's stuff, that's things I can do, that's fine, we can do this. He sort of looks at the very large indentation he's made in the table and goes, no, I'll pay for it later, it's fine. Pulls the hood down and swishes it around, and walking into the wizard room, is there like an active mirror in here? Like I say an active mirror, like you can deactivate them. But is there a mirror in here?
Sort of, there is one, but it's sort of in this state of flux. It's like it's neither on or off.
Flux!
Look.
You found it! Blow up the place!
Schrodinger's mirror.
There is a mirror, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Sort of, whoever's upstairs will audibly hear the door sort of slam behind him, and as the second he gets through, he just puts his back to the thing and just no, it's fine. You'll save them all. You'll do it. You'll save everything and everyone because you're not going to let transformations take people. It's fine. And he sort of walks towards the mirror and digs his nails in and starts very systematically removing rings and earrings and jewelry and sort of just placing it down in front of himself and derobing in a way that sort of like leaves him very bare. And as the makeup comes away, he just sort of stares at himself in the mirror, very plain faced, and just, it's fine. It's fine. Your life is fine. You're good. You're okay. You need to rest. You can't just sit up thinking all night like you used to. This isn't college anymore. We have class tomorrow. And as he sort of throws off the very large boots that he wears, he's going to sit in it, like on his bed, using prestidigitation. He's just going to make very small geometric shapes just start to move in sort of patterns, to like sort of watching them and allowing that to take the focus of his mind so he can just drift into a sleep and basically give himself the tools to sleep properly.
Okay. You also gain the benefits of a long rest. The evening passes. Those of you with exhaustion, you can knock one of those levels off.
What about Pim?
We'll get to Pim eventually. Or will we? Who knows? We might just leave this 3 weeks and be like, find out next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Next time.
You all gain the benefits of a long rest, and you will get all your abilities, spell slots, and I am going to deem this as a hospitable, not a hospitable, is that right? Hospitable environment?
Yeah, hospitable is the word.
So you will all gain 100% of your hit points back while resting in your own home. There's no danger. You get 100% of your hit points back. Because we have a long rest rule here at Tales on Tap, where depending on where these guys long rest will determine how much of a percentage of their hit points they regain. There you go. Quickfire homebrew rule that we're doing. The morning comes. Him. You open your eyes. This is not the one I wanted to put on. Was it this one?
Huey Lewis.
Yeah, this is the one.
Dun, 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 dun.
This is the one I wanted on. You open your eyes. You're on your back. In a bed. You look around the room that you're in and down at yourself, and you very quickly come to realize that you have no idea where you are. You currently are not wearing any clothing, but you have a quilt or a bed sheet over you up to your chest. Kind of like look round. You don't know where you are. You don't know what's happened. You have no memory of anything that happened beyond you walking out into the rear courtyard of your own place of residence. There is this blank spot in your mind between walking out and seeing the herb garden and the courtyard to now. There is nothing. No memory, no recollection, nothing. However, your body aches. You feel just your muscle fibers and bones just have this aching pain throughout. Not so much that you've taken damage as such, but you feel exhausted. Pim, you do not get a long rest, and you also have a point of exhaustion. Your body aches. You look around the room that you're in, and it's cozy. This is very much a small room, the bed being quite central within the room. There is this fur rug on the ground. You see that this isn't a traditional box-shaped room. It's very much got like a round, like a very kind of roundish wall on one side. You see there are plants everywhere. Potted plants hanging from the ceiling on shelves. You see, as you kind of look round to the bed that you're in, there are vines creeping up the side of the bed. And as you look across the room in a kind of high-backed, almost rudimentary crafted armchair made purely of wood towards the far end of this room, you see this lady. You see this graceful elven individual. And as her image comes to your eyes, it gives you the appearance of her being like timeless, with deep yet wise eyes that seem to, as you look into them, hold thousands of secrets. Her long silver hair cascades down her back in loose waves and are adorned with these delicate floral ornaments and arrangements throughout their silver hair. You see that she wears this beautiful robe made of natural materials. Again, adorned with leaf patterns all over, and you see that this individual is currently sat with a small goblet in their hand, peering over towards you, and she goes, "Oh, well, good morning. You're finally awake." Torrid time of it. You, are you okay?
Think so. Where am I?
Oh, don't worry, dear, you're quite safe. A fate that I must say you may not have found if I hadn't have found you out on my front porch this morning. Tell me, you seem to be quite far from home. Are you all right? How did you get here?
I don't know.
Oh. Well, that is strange.
Where's here?
Oh, don't worry, dear. You're in my home. I, was taking in the starlit skies of the very early morn. You see, sunrise is my favourite time of day, as the new day beckons in life itself, and I was out walking, and I came across you. Naked, strewn just on the floor. I at first, it's okay. It's okay. You're fine. But I thought at first that you would just collapse there and you may have been void of life, and so I checked on you and I brought you here. Cleaned you up a bit, and I could tell that you must have been through some ordeal. You were covered in mud and, well, yeah. So I brought you here. I cleaned you up and put you to rest. Oh, apologies. How very rude of me. My name is Elwyn.
Elwyn?
Elwyn, yes. And you are?
I'm Pim.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Pim. Now, how did you wind up in the forest and without clothes or anything?
I'm in the forest?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Oh, God. How far away is Wyndmere?
Oh, it's a good walk. Probably a good hour or two away. Not far. You're just on the edge of the Elder Tree Grove. This is my home, and I live here. You see, I am somewhat of a protector of this forest. I have lived here almost my entire life, and, well, yeah, this is my home. And you were, well, seemingly in quite a lot of trouble. But you're okay. But what happened to you?
I'm not sure. I don't know, to be honest.
Well, whatever it is, you must have been in some trouble. You were covered in mud and, well, blood. Though, as I cleaned you up, you don't seem to have any wounds on you.
Huh.
Yeah, look, you'll... Let me... Here. And she kind of, like, stands up and walks across the room to a small kettle that's kind of hung over this very small fire in the far corner of the room. She picks it up and pours this kind of, like, deep greenish liquid into one of the cups and walks over and hands you it and goes, "Drink that, dear. It'll make you feel a little bit better."
Thank you.
Now, Where are your family? Your mother and father must be terribly worried about you. Pim?
Sorry.
I take it that you're from round here. Do they live in the forest?
No.
Oh, are they're in the city, are they, in Wyndmere?
Yeah.
Okay, well, look, you're in no fit state to travel right now, but get that down you. I'll make you some food, and then we'll see what we can do about, well, getting you some clothes. I don't really have much that'll be your size, but I might have a robe or a cloak that you might be able to use for now.
Thank you for... Well, thank you for taking me in. I'm sorry. I must be... I'm sorry I can't tell you how I got here or anything like that.
What do you mean, dear? What? You don't remember what happened?
No.
She kind of sits back down in her chair, just kind of... You often have problems with your memory?
No. I usually remember things quite well, actually.
And this is the first time you've experienced something like this?
I think so, yeah.
That is worrisome indeed. I think it's probably best if you seek medical attention. I can maybe muster up some herbal remedy of sorts, but to cure memory loss is, well, that is something out of my repertoire, unfortunately.
Well, it's not really memory loss. It's just like I blacked out for a bit. Like, I remember everything else. I remember where I come from. I remember who I am. I remember my friends, my family, my grandpa.
But just not what happened last night. What was the last thing you remember?
I was in a garden. Quite a nice garden. I was with my friend. We were looking at the stars. And the moon.
Oh. Okay.
That's about it.
Oh, that is peculiar. Well, let's get you fed and see if we can find some clothing that would fit, and then you can be on your way.
Sorry, it's probably rude of me to ask, but you said you're a protector of the forest?
Yeah, that's right.
Are you like a herbalist of some kind?
I'm somewhat, yeah. You see, I am quite close to nature, and, well, nature's close to me, so we look out for each other.
You're a druid?
Yeah, of sorts. Some call, well, druidic, sage. There's not really a term for what I am. Maybe a guardian. When I am in need, I call upon the forces of nature, and they bend to my will.
Have I ever heard any stories of guardians of nature from Grandpa?
Roll me a history check.
Oh, that sucks. I have one level of exhaustion. Doesn't matter, apparently. 22.
You've heard your grandpa, and it is only very tall tales. You know that your grandfather especially when you were a little bit younger, likes to very much like exaggerate the types of tales that he'd tell you, but he often would talk about sentient creatures who watch over forests and things.
But I don't really know any name.
No. Are you okay with some things that I've grown in my garden for breakfast? I have some beautiful tomatoes that have just come in ripe at this time of year. We also have some spinach and a couple of other things.
I love spinach.
Oh, well, good. Good. Let's maybe find you some clothing first, because it was fine. Well, yeah. I don't you feel like you can find to there because you can't move. Anyway, bear with me. And she starts like rummaging through like this very small chest of drawers. You kind of get the impression that this individual doesn't have many changes of clothing. Like this is what they live and breathe in. And they kind of like pull out this like very like rustic cloak of like this deep green and kind of goes, well, it might be a tad big for you, but you can certainly wrap yourself up in that.
Thank you. I'll wrap it around myself.
And then she kind of moves over to this kind of very rudimentary kitchen area that she's got set up in this small place, and starts like getting this wooden bowl out and adding spinach and a few nuts and tomatoes and a few little kind of like very small peppers and things, and hands it over to you and goes, well, that should fuel you for a little bit. Make sure you drink your tea, dear. That's don't want that to go cold.
Thank you. I'll put it to my mouth and I have a sniff before I drink.
Gives you this like very aromatic smell of like basil and like very, again, it's a very fragrant like rosemary and lavendery smell of like tea. I don't fucking know, bro. Like, I don't know what brands of tea would be good in this situation. Like, I don't know.
All the savory herbs, dude.
I don't know, do I?
I was
Like,
gonna say, basil tea. What the fuck?
I don't know.
Does it smell like
Poison.
does something smell odd with it?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Seeing
what
as
kind of-
I'm proficient in
It's
herbalism.
got basil and rosemary in it.
Dan, just to
Smells
remind you,
very
you're the
healthy.
DM.
Yeah.
He's asking if it's poisoned.
Smell it, smell it. I don't know.
Maybe a herbalism check.
Yes, sir.
You're gonna want to find him soon, or he's gonna want to live here forever.
Yeah, I know, right? He's gone to a bad place.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is the afterlife.
Yeah.
So that would be let's see, so it's herbalism. Is that wisdom based, or is it just my proficiency bonus?
Just your proficiency bonus. D20 add
Okay.
your proficiency, please.
That's a 12.
12. Hard to tell. Not with the smell, anyway. It's hard to distinguish between the basil and whatever the fucking weird fragrances I've just told you about.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. Like,
Well, I mean, this person's taking me in. They've essentially wrapped me up, cleaned me up, and put food in front of me. Pim's gonna eat and drink.
okay. You do feel slightly better.
Thank you.
Now, I have things that I need to take care of. Can you find your way back to where you're from?
Yeah, if you can just point me towards the general direction of Wyndmere, I should be fine.
Sure. Finish your breakfast and I'll be outside.
Okay. Thank you.
And she kind of stands up and picks up this a staff, a quarter staff that is made of oak that's leaning by the door as she kind of picks that up and walks out. leaves you there to finish your breakfast and finish your tea.
I immediately start looking around the room,
Okay.
like scanning the
Attaboy.
room for. First of all, a rope, because this thing is long, so I probably want to tie it.
Okay. Yep.
But just try to gather my sort of surroundings a little bit. Is any of my stuff here? Like, is there?
Hey. I'd like to make me an investigation check, please.
Yeah.
Just see bark hanging from a ring. No, I'm joking.
Oh, God.
I'm not. No, I've already hurt you enough.
That's another 12.
You look around. You don't find rope as such, but you do find like this kind of twine that's been made from like stripped bark from branches that you can kind of fashion into a little bit of rope. You don't find any of your items. You don't find any of your belongings.
Okay.
Anything like that.
I'm just gonna quickly pick up my head out the door. You have some twine. Would it be okay if I took some of that to sort of make myself a belt? This is kind of long and.
Yeah. Yes. That's fine. That's no problem at all.
Thank you. And I'll get myself a rope. Place the bowl and the cup on a table somewhere that I can reach. I don't know how high the tables are here. I'm used to halfling homes.
Yeah. You do so. Like, there you go. It's not that high up, but it's like you do place the bowl and that on the side.
If I got a spoon, I make sure that I put it in the bowl as well. Yep. Just tied myself up. I'd probably make the bed.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I've been taught right. I've been raised well.
Yeah. Your granddaddy would be proud.
Yes. And I'll walk out.
Okay. And as you step out, the morning greets you. The sun is high in the sky. A little bit of a like mild temperature. It's not warm, but it's not cold either. It's very mild. And as you kind of step out and
could I add one thing, by the way, before I step out?
Yeah, sure.
I just realized. Do I see any insignia or any idol of Loraya?
You do not know.
Okay.
You do not. But you step out and the fresh air hits your lungs and rejuvenates you a little bit. But you kind of like look to the side and Aerilon is tending to this herb patch just outside the front door. She's kind of tending to the root, like some weeds and stuff. She goes, oh, okay. So, Wyndmere, if you keep to the tree line, make sure it's on your left, go for around 20 minutes, half an hour, and then you'll come to a small crest of a hill. Once you get there, you will see the city. It's off in the distance, off to your right.
Okay. Thank you so much again.
No problem at all. And good luck with everything. I wish you all the luck in the world with your future endeavors.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.
And I'll wave to the plants as well.
The plants wave back.
You.
No, you just see a fern going bye. But you wave farewell to Eowyn and start making your way back towards the city.
Making my way.
Pem, this is arguably the strangest morning you've ever experienced. But there is no like accountability for the last 12 hours of your life. You don't know how you got here. You don't know where your friends are. You don't know what's happened. And as much as you've been polite to Eowyn in this point and up to this point, and you kind of get a good distance away, you kind of feel yourself just stop. and stay standing in place, and this rush of uncertainty hits you, and a slight sense of fear. What have you done? What has happened? Where do you go from here? Tell me, in this moment, how are you feeling? What is going through your mind?
A lot of confusion. Thoughts about what's happened. How's everyone else? How do I get back? I'm outside the city. How do I get in? Last time I needed to get arrested to get in. How scared everybody else must be. Who this mysterious woman was, and there's a lot of fear as well. This was worse than when he had to hide from goblins or sneak through the forest. That stuff he somehow instinctually could do, but this is worse. This is dealing with his own mind, and he's not had trouble with his mind. He thinks to Curia, thinking about, like, how must it be not to remember? Is this how they feel? And thinking about just the group, what they must be feeling. Eddie's probably rushing around like a mad idiot, even though his grandpa would probably hate the fact that he uses that word to describe one of his friends, but he's hoping that Leona is not smashing things to pieces trying to find him, and he's hoping that Virgil can actually control the bunch into thinking rationally.
I think at this point there is a very subtle sense that you are blaming yourself for what's happened, beating yourself up a little bit, like how have you let this happen? Like, is all this your fault?
Yeah.
Are you responsible for what's happened?
Yeah, and also how, like, why was there blood on his clothes? Or blood on him?
Yeah.
Why is he hours outside the city?
As you're running these thoughts through your mind, instinctually your feet are just carrying you. And you're walking and walking. You don't know for how long. Has it been 20 minutes yet? You don't know. You've no idea. You've lost all sense of time at this point. You are just keeping to the edge of this forest. And as you get further and further away from Eowyn's hut, to your left, you hear the crack of branches. You hear the snapping of twigs. You freeze in place. Make me a perception check. Oh, this is not the one I wanted to put on. That's the one I wanted to put on.
I hate disadvantage, guys. I had to re-roll in that 20.
Oh,
I'm so pissed.
Killer.
Oh,
But
you had to roll on that
It's
20.
a dirty 20 because I rolled a 14.
As you turn and look, you see two shadowy figures step towards you. They are of similar height to you, brandishing weaponry in their hands. You see that they are humanoid in form, arched backs, elongated heads with sharp pointed ears, as two creatures just race out of the tree line as these two goblins come racing and charging towards you, Pim, brandishing weapons. The first one strikes towards you.
Oh, fucking hell.
Remember, you are unarmored.
Yeah.
So, does a 12 hit?
Just hits.
What are you doing to my boy?
He's been through a lot, please.
You take 5 points of slashing damage from the first attack. The second creature tries to plunge their short sword directly into your chest, Pim.
You can't let us watch him die.
That is a 14 to hit.
No initiative? Nothing?
Right round.
For 4 points of piercing damage as the blade pierces into your chest as two blades and then pierce. You start to stumble back, and as you trip on a root on the ground, Pim, make me a dexterity saving throw.
I need to double check one thing. Does exhaustion deal with saving throws at
Only if you got
first?
3 levels. No.
Yeah,
Okay.
just ability checks, brother. You good for your saving throw?
14.
14, you stumble, you just manage to keep your foot in, but narrowly as your back foot buckles and you drop to one knee. These two goblins, they are on you and towering over you at this point. You just instinctually bring your hands up to cover your face in this moment as you hear the whistle of as you see from out of the corner of your eye this dagger from behind you in the center point of this goblin's head as it on the ground, as you just instinctually at this point are cowering as another dagger pierces the throat of the second goblin as its blade hits the ground, and they drop, and you hear the familiar voice behind you. Pim, stand up now.
I look towards where the daggers came from. Who the fuck is it?
You see the cloaked figure of the Raven stood behind you, 10 feet, 2 more daggers in hand, looking dead at you, and goes, "Get on your feet, move now, there will be more, follow me."
I get to my feet and I instinctually grasp, believe it or not, a weapon.
You grab hold of this jagged, like, really crude short sword of the goblin that fell next to you, and you grab and turn as he just kind of is already, the Raven just is already starting to move away from the tree line, and he's like, "Pim, move now."
I'm running.
You
I'm running.
race out into the open and through this valley of this hill land that you're now on. He doesn't wait for you, Pim. The Raven does not wait for you to catch up. He bolts, expecting you to follow. Make me an athletics check, please.
11, and I think it's -1, so 10.
Was that with disadvantage because of
Yeah, I
it
rolled
was.
11 twice.
So 10 that's enough. You race woof, woof, to follow the Raven. A few moments past, you come into this kind of very concaved, like valley-esque kind of trough of the kind of surrounding area. He stops at this rock formation and pulls you in behind and is just staring, daggers in hand, waiting. You see this tense, like, moment pass as he turns to you and just kind of, like, sheaths the two daggers, like, under his, like, arms, like, back into the two kind of bandolier points that they were, and he kind of grabs you. He's like, oh god, are you okay? Pim, are you okay?
I think so.
Oh,
How did you find me?
I've been searching all night. You'll ever... Tell me what you remember. What... Oh, Pim. You're okay. You're alright now. I've got you. Nothing's gonna happen to you. We're gonna get you back. You're safe. We'll get you back home. But what happened?
I don't know.
He just grabs you and pulls you into his arms. It's okay. It's okay. You're alright. Your friends... They sent me looking for you. They couldn't get to you. They were... You're okay. Come on. And he holds you in such a tight embrace, seeing the pain in you, and just holds you.
I'm sorry.
You have nothing to apologize for. You're okay, Pim. Let's get you home. Come on. And he, for the first time, takes off his cloak, puts it over your shoulders, and ties it. Says to you, if anything happens, pull the hood up, close your eyes, and just let what happens happen. It's only in case of emergencies, and you stay close to me. Do not run. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You listen to my instructions. If I tell you to run, you run. If I tell you to hide, you hide. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Come on now. Let's get you home. And he puts a reassuring arm over your shoulder and starts to walk you back to the city and turns and goes, tell me, Pim, what happened? How did you get out here? Do you know what happened?
I don't know. I remember seeing the moon. And
Okay.
then that's it.
He stops and turns you to face him and kneels down in front of you and goes, okay, what I'm about to tell you is going to shock you. But I want you to know that no matter what I tell you, we are going to be fine. You are going to be fine. Okay? Do you trust me?
Yeah.
Last night you transformed. You transformed into a beast.
I can't do that.
Well,
My parents can, but I can't.
listen. From what I could tell, this was not you by choice. Now tell me, have you come into contact with anybody that could transform themselves into bestial form? Have you been bitten, scratched, hurt by anybody that has the innate ability to transform themselves into a more beast-like form?
Got bitten by a were-rat.
Then it's as I suspect. And he kind of like sits you down on a rock nearby. Timothy, you may have contracted a curse, a lycanthropy curse, which means that whatever happened last night, you were not in control of what happened. Now, I don't know much about this, but if you're transforming at a full moon into a more bestial form, then it sort of adds up. I know this is a lot to take in, but we're going to get you the help that you need. Okay? There are good healers in the city. There will be learned people that would know what to do with this. But the first thing we need to do is get you back to your friends. Get you back home and safe. Okay? Here. And he takes the blade out of your hand.
Yeah,
kind of
visibly shaking. Like it's...
tosses that blade to one side and pulls a dagger out from its sheath and hands it to you, and just for now, until we get you back, and then you hand me back the dagger and the cloak. But for now, let's get you home, okay? I know of a way in and out of the city, but we'll get you home, okay? You're gonna be okay. Okay. Can you walk?
Yeah, I
Good.
can walk.
Good. Come on. And he grabs both your hands and pulls you to your feet. Puts his arm back round your shoulder and begins to walk you back towards the city. And as you come to the crest of the next hill, Wyndmere is in sight. You're nearly there, Pim. Not long now. And that
Whilst we're walking,
is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh,
But go on, Pim, while you're walking.
talking about mentioning lycanthropy,
Mm-hmm.
would I have heard anything about it?
We'll pick this up next session. We are going to end tonight's session there with
fuck
Pim
me, man.
on his way back to Wyndmere.
I think there's definitely a new emote needed for heartbreak. I mean,
Yeah,
I definitely wanted the right emote for that one. Jesus,
Jesus
Right.
Christ, man, that was a session. That was
right?
Yeah.
The doozy.
Well,
I've never been so completely torn between two options.
Yeah.
In a D&D game before.
Yeah.
Just everything telling me to do something, but having to decide whether to listen to the voice of reason. Just completely torn in half, man. That was insane. And just, oh man, MVP Evan for
Mm-hmm.
that last sort of 45 minutes. That was
Definitely.
heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
well,
Jesus.
we'll leave that where it is for now, guys. We will pick this back up in a couple of weeks. Please make sure you tune in next week because we have a really, really excellent two-shot that is going to be DM'd by none other than Natalie. Please stick into the session next week. Please tell all your friends about it. Get as many people in here as we can to show love and support to these guys while in my absence.
More light-hearted, I reckon.
Yeah, probably.
Natalie.
Somewhat, yeah.
Probably. Please stick around. We are going to be raiding a channel called Fraser's Forge, who have some special guests, and they're doing a sort of D&D talk show type thing. But thank you very much, everyone, for sticking with us. I'm really, really glad that you enjoyed the session tonight. I will see you all in a couple of weeks' time. I hope that you guys around the table have the best sessions in the next couple of weeks.
Safe travels, Dan. Hope you
Yeah,
enjoy
have an
your
incredible
honeymoon.
time.
Yeah, it's going to be great. But thank you everyone at home for sticking with us. We will see, well, these guys will see you next week. I'll see you in a couple of weeks, but thanks very much. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.